everyone. God, I keep forgetting to full screen myself at the beginning. I always forget. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? This is the first wrap up of the year 2025. We're going to talk about some new releases. I'm very excited. And of course, we have with us, as always, except for one time, Joey C.
Oh!
Why are you
Sorry.
eating the most powdery donut you could have found?
Sorry, man. Let me put these back. I'm back! I'm back from the dead!
Why do you have so many donuts?
I need a snack before I eat after the stream. You know?
Oh my God. Wait, before you eat after the stream.
Yeah, I got to warm up the tummy. You know,
Oh,
I can't
God
just
damn
raw
it.
dog the second dinner.
Joey
That's
C, are
silly.
you feeling well? Are you feeling well?
I'm back to normal, baby. Back from the dead. The stomach
Awesome.
virus can't get me.
I'm glad you're here, Joey C. You know, from the channel Official Joey C that talks about many things, including movies. I hear you talk about movies on your show.
Sometimes the Flintstones 2 is coming up soon.
Oh, wow. Cool. Anyway, next up we have our boy Gil. Hello, Gil.
Hello, Joey. You're back to life. It's like you took a dip in a Lazarus pit, and now
That's
you're back in
right.
action. And I, for one, have goosebumps. I'm so excited to get back into these streams.
Yeah, you sound like
you're not doing the
wolf,
you're not doing the rest.
man.
You couldn't think of the rest.
I just thought of this a second ago. I used up all my material for the first 10 seconds of the stream.
Well, Gil, from One Take, I'm glad you're here. You're taking a break from your show where you talk about movies. You talk about a lot of movies and review movies over there. Next up, we have Crystal. Crystal, fuck you. I heard you were starting a podcast where you talk about movies. You goddamn traitor. Why do you betray me? Everybody betray me. I'm fed up with this world. Here I am trying to review movies with my good friend Crystal, and she wants to start her own show where she talks about movies.
That's silly.
Explain yourself. Explain yourself, Crystal.
She's muted.
Your microphone is muted.
This podcast is clearly, she's ready for it.
Because I'm eating. Joey and I are having our dinner, okay? Which is like mine's like homemade banana bread I made. He's eating donuts. We got great dinners over here.
Awesome. Me and Gil are not eating because we're professionals.
That's
anyway, Crystal, I came up with why don't you just call it the Crystal Cast?
Your Crystal Cast?
Crystal Quinn Cast. It's Crystal Quinn's podcast. Crystal Gazing. Crystal, you should do.
I'm not following here.
You should do I'm trying to give her names for her podcast. You should.
I literally listed a whole bunch, and he goes, "I don't have time for this." And I was like, "You
really
just have to tell me which one you like."
Because I'm in talks to start a Trailer Park Boys podcast, and it's been like 2 weeks of figuring out a name for that. So when you sent me that, I'm like, I don't have time. I can't deal with this.
I literally sent you a list. I didn't ask you to like make one up. I said, "Which one do you have to like think?" I'm not. I am probably going to do this as much as I say I'm going to stream. So, AKA, there may be one episode that ever comes out.
Do a podcast where you're just like crying and complaining about things and call it Crystal Balling.
I kind of like that.
Because a crystal ball. Every day I'm just like, I saw a picture of a dog and it made me cry. Anyway.
And like, that's it. Got it.
You're
right, Joey.
Joey, that's why you don't eat Entenmann's donuts before you stream.
I'm gonna wash it down with G Fuel.
Oh, real quick,
nice.
I have to give it a shout out. I have to give it a shout out to my sister and our wonderful team. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, I believe, right?
The what?
The Super Bowl.
It's like the Academy Awards for football.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure the ball.
The quarterback is Amelia Perez. Anyway, I just want to give a shout out to my sister, and let's go Birds. And you know what? Let's all spell it. ELGSES. Elgsis.
I actually want that shirt.
Anyway,
really
go to Made by Mawson on Instagram, and you can get yourself one of those from my sister.
I'm actually probably gonna get one. That's amazing.
For those of you who don't know, our Philadelphia mayor tried to lead everyone in the chant spelling out the Eagles' name, and she completely butchered it.
She tried.
She couldn't have done a worse job.
I love it.
But yeah, you know what? Let's not stop at the Eagles. Let's celebrate all our teams. Let's shout out to the Phillies. 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 And
what the hell sport are we talking about?
How about
here?
the 76ers? Number 7, TY. Number 6, ERHZ. I don't know. Anyway.
What about Flyers? Are you going to do Flyers? Like, what the? Are you going to do the Philadelphia Souls? Come on. Everyone knows Philadelphia Souls.
Rule of comedy, 3s. Okay, next up.
And Tony, my favorite part of leaving the corporate world is no longer having to pretend to care about sports in the break room. And you're giving me such flashbacks right now.
Sport? What the
I
hell
don't even care. I
sport?
just wanted this shirt to make fun of a lady who screwed up on national television.
Am I the only actual Eagles fan here, or actually the only one that likes sports?
What sport is that, for God's sake?
So yes, got it.
It's Joey. It's American soccer. It's American soccer.
I thought that was only played overseas. What do you mean American soccer? What the fuck is going on?
Anyway, just want to say, please consider joining the Patreon. You can join in on fun episodes like this at the $10 tier. We got some really good stuff on Patreon this month. I'm glad you guys follow the Patreon religiously. You're loving all the stuff I put out. Like my very tasteful, respectful Our Friend Martin review I did with Manny Muskets. And as you can tell by the thumbnail,
I forgot about that movie. Holy shit!
A lot of people forgot about the movie.
Yeah.
Funny thing we learned while doing the review on YouTube, all the actual audio from Martin Luther King's speeches are muted. For whatever reason, just those parts of the movies are muted. So that is on Patreon. We had a great time. Manny was
Why do you look like that in like you look so disappointed in the movie, Tony?
Crystal, I don't want to spoil anything. It's probably because Manny said like the one word you do not want to bring up when talking about Martin Luther King Jr. That's probably why my face is like that. Check out Patreon to become a channel member.
I love Manny.
Also, Monday we have What is the Best Shrek Movie coming up. Me and Lauren Soda went through all 4 Shreks. I had to watch Shrek 3 for the first time since the theaters, and Shrek 4 for the first time ever. So yeah, we go through all 4 of those.
Shrek 4 even good? Is it like worth watching? I've never seen it.
You're gonna have to watch the episode. And Crystal, if you wanted to watch the episode, you could watch it right now by becoming a channel member or patron. What else happened? There's a commentary track. Me and Mid Salad, we did a commentary track for Scoob. Awful. It's actually awful. It's one of the worst animated films I've ever seen. Joey C, this will not be a classic. If you call this a classic, I will slap you.
No, I would never do that. That's
nobody talks about how Zaslav killed off Batgirl, never released that movie. Nobody talks about the Scoob sequel that also got put in the vault.
Yeah, it's because they saw Scoob 1 and they went, yeah, we're good. You can put that right in the vault. Yeah, so you can get that by being a $5 or $10 patron, or you can just purchase it individually without pledging. Isn't that amazing, guys?
That's beautiful.
It's amazing. I mean, you should still pledge because you get it a lot cheaper. Also, I was on some other channels this month. Me and Kaylee did A Night at the Roxbury. Can you guys do the head bob? Gil cannot do it at
Trying.
all.
It's not working.
Kaylee cannot do the head bob. She was absolutely terrible at it.
I'm not shocked at that.
Yes. So that is up on her channel. You might have seen this video about me being a loser. I lost. Shut up. I lost a bet. I lost a bet to Adam Does Movies. We tried to bet on who would get the most correct Golden Globe winners. And I lost, and the punishment was to do a video written by the winner. And everyone who knows me knows that I always, hold on. I got to get rid of Crystal. I always follow through on my bets. When I get something wrong, I always follow through. And I don't go 3 years not delivering any dinners that I promised. I don't do that. Hi, Crystal. Anyway, so that video's up.
So weird. I'm in the mood for like Olive Garden where I.
Wow,
Oh,
she
that's
drove through a tunnel
disgusting. Get
again.
the fuck out of here, Olive Garden. Come on.
I know. It's like he keeps saying like he'll up the restaurant. And
So
then
guys, I lost the Golden Globes, but I streamed with Adam again. We went through the Oscar nominees, and guys, I have a good feeling. I went all in on Amelia Perez, her 13 nominations. I'm all in. The number one president. # where my presidents at? Has anyone watched Amelia Perez? Gil, I'm going to need a what is Amelia Perez really about? Because that was one of the questions I was asking myself.
Get it?
I also like the phrasing where you're like, I lost the Golden Globes, like you were up for a Golden Globe
Yeah.
in that new category for movie podcasts.
So he went all in on The Brutalist, a movie he hasn't even seen. So he's #Brutes. I'm #Presidents. I think my name is funnier and I should win on that basis alone. But yeah, we're gonna live stream the Academy Awards, or should I call it the Hack Adamy Awards?
Look at Crystal's face.
Crystal, are you not excited for the Hack Adamy Awards?
Wait, Crystal, did I?
just ate food. I'm about to throw up. Like,
Did you said you reached out to Tony about advice on the name for your podcast? Was that before or after you heard about this?
I just heard about this. I regret every decision I've ever said to him, like question I've ever asked, everything.
I think you know what? I was going to invite everyone to the Hack Adamy Awards, and now I don't think I will, based off the reaction I'm getting here.
I think we're all just insulted that you didn't find a way to Frankenstein our names.
No, I love it. It's beautiful.
All right, next year we'll do the Gilded Globes. I don't know, the Gilded Globes. Or the Gilded Globe. I don't know. One of those will work. I don't know. What other award shows can we make puns out of?
What other award shows are there? It's the
Emmys, Tonys.
Well,
Emmys.
the Tonys is going to be a little hard.
Oh, Tony's. Yeah, that's good.
Well, anyway, the Hack Adamy Awards will go up whenever that award show airs. I think it's March 1st or something. Oh, I forgot to make a graphic. I will be live reacting to the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Oh shit, that's this weekend.
Yeah. What else is next? Are we almost here? No, okay, we're into the show now. We're into the review portion. But Joey, I think there's a game that needs to be named. What is it?
Well, Tony, the name of the game is Super Chat. Super Chats, folks. If you want me or the crew to whisper sweet nothings into your ear, we'll do it. All you have to do is send a Super Chat, but it has to be within reason, folks. This is the internet. Tony has a history of getting banned, so we don't want that to happen again. So just be aware of that.
Oh,
don't use any words that would make Tony make this face.
Exactly.
Before.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
That reminds me. I finally made a Twitch for Castilla versus the Pod Monster. So
nice.
So we're slowly gonna roll that back out. Maybe when I get back from LA. Oh yeah, I'll be in LA next week. I'll do a meetup somewhere. I'll figure out when I get there. Yeah. First movie on the list. Back in Action. Back in Action from the director of good movies like Horrible Bosses and bad movies like Baywatch. Although there were two things I really enjoyed in Baywatch. This is also Cameron Diaz's return to films. Her last film was like 10, 11 years ago. She was in Annie, the Annie remake. And how appropriate. The last movie she was in had Jamie Foxx, and this movie has Jamie Foxx. I skipped it. What was the point of this one? Oh, yeah. She is no stranger to spy comedies. She's done 2 Charlie's Angels films and Night and Day. Anyone ever see Night and Day? James
I
Mangold's
do.
Night and Day?
Yep.
No.
I did
It's
see
actually-
that. It was
like
pretty
a fun
good.
little movie.
Yeah.
It was a fun little movie.
It was pretty good.
But now she's back in action on Netflix. This tells the story of 2 secret agents that were on a mission, and she got knocked up. And they were like, all right, well, let's just leave our life, abandon everything, and become just regular parents. And then years later, they have 2 wonderful kids. Their old boss is like, hey, someone's going to kill you. And then he dies. And then immediately you scream at the screen, he's the bad guy. And then you just kind of wait the whole movie for him to be the bad guy. Oh, sorry. Spoilers.
Yep.
And then there's 2 boring cops following them around. And then they hang out with Glenn Close. Joey C., what did you think of Back in Action?
You know, Tony, I feel that Netflix originals have really gone downhill. That being said, though, I hate to admit I slightly enjoyed this movie. It's a real basic, like, spy plot. You know, you folks come out of retirement, kick ass again, like that Nobody movie, if anybody remembers that. Great movie. It was pretty entertaining. I felt that the action shots were pretty fun, over the top as they typically are in these spy movies. The only thing I would change is the antagonist twist. As we all know, that was pretty typical stuff. But
as soon as he got shot, I'm just like, yeah, he's the bad guy.
I knew it right there.
It was so obvious.
But other than that, I mean, I watched these like dumb action movies for the action shots anyhow, and they were pretty good. Especially the sequence on the plane, that was super cool. So I enjoyed it. It was a fun little movie.
Gil, do you agree?
I feel bad that this is the one we're starting with because I got back from vacation yesterday, and today I was like, all right, time to get back to work. And then I remembered I have 7 movies to watch for Tony tonight.
What the fuck?
One of them had to be sacrificed. I watched the first
goodness.
10 minutes of this.
7?
Well, 5. Yeah, 6, I think, if you include
6,
Goosebumps. Yeah. But I feel like from the first 10 minutes, I got enough of a sample to know what my opinion of this movie was going to be overall.
Yeah.
You know, generic action comedy with a little bit of melodrama. Like, I'm pregnant now. This changes everything. Our priorities have now shifted as adults. And it's the kind of movie where an action scene starts and then some upbeat music cuts in. How lucky can one guy be?
Yeah.
And
that happens a lot.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, I saw enough to know it's that kind of movie. If you're in the mood for it, enjoy it. It's not my kind of thing usually.
Well, Crystal, I know you love this movie. You couldn't wait for Cameron Diaz to be back in action, right?
I actually really like Cameron Diaz a lot. I always enjoy watching her. In almost anything, I think she's a fun actress to watch. I think she can be a great like comedic actor as well. This movie, I saw the trailer and I said, Tony, how the fuck do you pick these movies? How? Like, what the fuck? And I started watching it and I was like, okay, this super, super, super predictable. This is exactly how it's going to go. But halfway through the movie, I actually started really enjoying it. I kind of got sucked in a little bit. As predictable as it is, as corny, you kind of understand very quickly on what kind of movie this is. And then you're just on for the ride at that point. You know it's going to be super predictable. You know it's going to be corny as hell. You know the action is going to be beyond unrealistic, especially for Cameron Diaz to beat up that many big ass men. You're like, okay, physics.
I like in the beginning, she covers her belly to make sure she doesn't get punched because she has a baby. But it's after she already had been body slammed into a table. I'm like, yeah. I think the damage is already done, lady.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
But what bothered me was I was like, okay, so they go off the grid. What do they do? How did they I'm so curious about that. I'm almost more curious about that in between. Like, all right, so they have a brand new life. They have a beautiful house. Like, how? Where did they going away from the government and stuff like that? Like, they weren't able to go into like a secret, anything secret, really.
I don't know.
I was just so curious.
They probably had money stashed away somewhere. I guess
enough connections to get fake passports, fake identities, I guess.
Call the vacuum repair guy from Breaking Bad.
Nah.
Exactly.
But it was just and it was fun. It was definitely fun to watch. Though.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be another Lift, which is Crystal's favorite movie of last year. She loved Lift. With who was
That's actually exactly what I thought it was going to be. Yes, you're not wrong.
I thought it was going to be like that too, and I was dreading that because Lift was terrible. This wasn't too bad. Actually, Cameron Diaz is pretty charming in it, and her and Jamie Foxx's chemistry is pretty good. Her with Glenn Close is also pretty good. It was mostly the supporting characters who kind of sucked. Like those 2 cops, I felt like were there just to pad out the time. The predictable villain kind of killed it for me. There were, like you said, Joey C, there was some pretty good action That one like car flip stunt was awesome.
Oh my god!
When they're on the highway and it
sick.
flips, and they shot it in slow motion, it looks like a real car. It's not like CG or anything. I'm like, wow, that actually looked really, really good and was totally solid. It's just a shame it was done on like a Netflix budget. These Netflix movies are really starting to feel kind of samey.
Yeah.
How much longer can they trick people into thinking that these are going to be like grade A movies? Because they are basically direct-to-video movies from the 90s, just with A-list actors. Like, they can't keep this up for much longer, right? Am I alone on that?
Point. No, you make a good point there.
Well, is it working? Like outside, so I know, you, Tony, you're in the know. You're a movie guy. But how do the mainstream people view these movies? The normies?
They put them on without watching. Netflix, it was like revealed recently that Netflix like specifically is greenlighting stuff that's written in a way that you can have on and not have to watch. And
like they were like, characters should be describing what they're doing out loud in case people aren't looking at the screen.
Yes.
I would say my mom's almost like, normie, where it's on, you forget about life, it's kind of fun, it's dumb, you don't have to actually pay attention to it. Yay, movie.
And that's fine if it's like TV. Like TV has been doing that for decades. TV
but now we don't have that much TV. It's not the same TV anymore. So now it's gone into movies.
The problem is that they're still like pretending like these are on par with like Hollywood theater films. And it's like, no, they're not. This is like a made-for-TV direct-to-video movie. Like, you're supposed to like put it on while you're cooking and stuff. But the fact that they're putting all these A-list actors, like, this has got to be costing you guys money, right? Why don't you just make it cheaper, I guess, and there'd be less expectations. But yeah, this wasn't as bad as some of the ones we've covered on here. I'm going to sneeze. And of course it went away.
That's
at the last minute, I've been waiting for it to work up, and as soon as I cave in, it goes away.
You're supposed to look at the light. Either if you look at the light, you sneeze, or if you say orange, it goes away.
I literally have a light blasting in my face. I can't.
Well, stare at it.
I knew somebody who told me they love the feeling of when you have to sneeze, but then it ends up not happening.
Masochist?
He also liked to open up a bottle of soda, leave it in the fridge, and let it kind of go flat after a few days. He's like, I don't like the bubbles.
Oh, that's sacrilegious.
What?
That's called a psychopath.
Are they a murderer? What's going on there?
Jeffrey Dahmer. I bet they have glasses too that look like him.
I would hate to have glasses that make me look like Jeffrey Dahmer. That would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it'd be really, really bad, wouldn't it?
But yeah, back in action. It's okay. This feels like a date movie. Valentine's Day is coming up. If you don't want to go out, if you need like this, it's got enough fun stuff for girls, enough action for guys. I'll never watch it again. I just wanted to support my girl Cameron, even though Charlie's Angels ruined my birthday because the girls hijacked the show and reviewed Charlie's Angels.
Not all girls.
Anyway, that's it for Back in Action. Next up, Last Known Location. Now, this is a local indie film. I know some of the people in these. I mean, not well. We're not friends. But one of the stars and writer, Amy Teresa, I used to do the night of short films at the old Trocadero in Philadelphia. I'd always play my short films there. So I've seen this lady a bunch, either in person or on the screen there. Yeah, so I recognize some people here. But this is recommended to me by our boy Frank, who I gave the link to be here tonight to talk about it, and he clearly did not receive it. But me and him did review Creature Commandos last week. He told me, hey, would you consider reviewing this? And normally I'd be like, but he told me this somehow like made it to number 6 most watched movies in the US on Amazon Prime. I'm like, all right, that's kind of a big deal. A local Philly movie making it that big on Amazon Prime. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. So I got 5 minutes into the movie, and I think I figured out why Frank wanted me to review this. Probably because he's in the background there. And then I got further in the movie, and son of a bitch was there again. It was there again. But this tells the story of a bunch of girls who are being kidnapped by a man who's like abusing them and keeping them locked up in the basement. They're trying to figure out who he is, and they're trying to figure out a way to escape. And there's also 2 detectives on the case. One of them has the most Philly Delco accent I've ever heard in my entire life. I kept laughing. I mean, she did a great job, but I'm like, it was just so thick compared to all the other actors in the movie. Yeah, so we get to learn about each character. We see the one before she gets kidnapped, and we see like kind of the process the guy goes through. There's plenty of twists and turns. I don't want to spoil it too much because I actually enjoyed this one. Joey C., what did you think?
Yeah, it was a really hard watch due to the sensitive themes in the movie, but I did think that it was really solid and quite honestly, an understated thriller movie. I felt like the whole thing was filled with like dread, almost like a black cloud following you around. And the production, I feel really valued like the cinematography in the movie. But I think what like really stood out to me the most was how like well developed the 3 characters are. I feel like in these fucking movies that never happens. Like you get like a sentence or 2 to explain their backstory and that's it. Because they could have easily like reduced them to like one dimensional or like stereotypical victims, if you will. But I don't know. This movie did a fucking phenomenal job with like convincing me that they were real, relatable people. And it's a hard watch. It's a really hard watch. A lot of sensitive stuff in this movie.
Gil, did you get more than 5 minutes into this one?
I did. I watched the entire thing. And I was surprised you didn't mention there's a character named Tony in this, one of the patrons at the bar. At one point in the movie, they say, "Here you go, Tony." And then later they say, "There you go, Tony." So that could be another reason they wanted you to watch.
There's a lot of Tonys in movies, okay? We're not all the same, all right?
Well, I agree with Joey. I think the best part of this movie is when you're in the basement with the girls that have been kidnapped, because what this movie does essentially is strip away the movie sheen that these stories usually have. It's not a thriller about trying to escape for the most part. It's not a police procedural. It is a lot of just, this is the awfulness that it would be to be in this situation, which, like Joey said, is a challenging watch. It's challenging for a couple of reasons. One, obviously the subject matter. If you're successful, it's going to be an uncomfortable couple of hours. But it's also, how do you make that engaging if you're just going to be in the room with them? And the way it does it in part is by using flashbacks. It's by sometimes following other characters before they end up in that situation. And then at a certain point, it does start to introduce the sort of police procedural elements. I would say some of that stuff didn't work as much for me, but when the movie was being difficult to watch and being more unique, that's when I thought it was at its best. So overall, I thought it was solid, especially when it was doing things I hadn't seen before as much.
And Crystal, you said you know this lady, right?
I do. Back in high school, I used to work at the Ritz Theater. It's a regional theater. She used to work there. I think she still might work there. She was also an actress. Sweet as the Suey. That's Susan Dewey. She is absolutely the sweet. Even though in this movie she's a little bit of a older cranky bitch, nicest woman ever. She is such a sweetheart. I freaked out as soon as I saw her, and I was like, no fucking way. Very excited to see her. She did a phenomenal job too. So happy to see her have a great role, for what she did. So very happy about that. I really liked the movie a lot. I wasn't sure what to expect because you said, "Oh, it's a local movie," and I was like, "Okay." A lot of them, not the best budget sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not, you know what I mean? Maybe not I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
This is a movie that I would expect to be number 6 on Amazon Prime. The way it was shot, it was nicely shot. The colors, the darkness, the writing, the acting, every single aspect of it screamed big movie. it was definitely uncomfortable, but from someone that grew up watching Lifetime movies and being forced to watch that, and then crime documentaries and those types of things. It felt as if you took one of those like horrific stories and then just remade it into something for everyone
That also
to watch.
might be why it's doing really well. As someone who had to watch, not on purpose, a bunch of forensic files and stuff.
Yeah,
I can
exactly
see like that.
like.
The people who crave that kind of stuff being real into this story. I guess, yeah, you're right. I agree with everything everyone's saying. It looks great. I wish there was a little bit more of a budget to make the basement a little bit more intense, because I was looking at it, I'm like, I feel like I could get out of that. I could figure out a way out of that. But like if it looked like Buffalo Bill's basement, or if he had like a jail cell down there or something like a little bit.
I think they made it very realistic to think about it. Like, I
guess so. I mean, that it could also work that way too. I don't know. I would have had the basement be just a little bit.
Can we just talk about? I don't want to spoil the ending. I do want to say the ending threw me for a loop, and I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. Where there was a brother.
I thought that was cool. There wasn't enough. Besides one scene that I could think of, I probably have to rewatch it. There wasn't enough like hints that that's something that was going to happen. It's a bit of everyone likes to make fun of Sleepaway Camp's ending being jarring, but if you actually watch that movie, there are enough hints that that's going to happen. I mean,
there was the hint that he was working. That's why I was like, "Oh, is it someone dressed up like him or looking like him that was working for him during those times?"
Yeah.
But besides that, I was like, "This." Also, the thing is that seemed very unrealistic is that if the girls were having sex with the brother as well, you would probably be able to tell a difference, because it seems like also they mentioned they worked really hard to be one person. Basically, they were doing the Prestige, what Christian Bale did in the Prestige. So they were able to have sex.
Spoiler for the Prestige.
Did they study the way they both have sex?
Yeah, they practiced.
Okay, gotcha.
They got blow up dolls and practiced.
You can get those?
I thought,
Yo, I'm gonna get me one of those. Not for me, but for Grimace or whatever. Can I get a Grimace blow up doll? You hear that, buddy? You're gonna have a pal.
I thought you were looking for an upgrade. You're like, I'm sick of doing it with the Grimace doll back here.
I want more.
The purple blob is not doing it for me anymore.
I will say, when it comes to the kidnapper, I did think it was weird. They kind of obscure his identity, and I kept waiting for a twist that it was going to be. I thought it was like a whodunit. I was looking for suspects, and then it's just some guy.
Yeah, which I think I actually kind of appreciated that at first, because I'm like, it's so often in these movies, the guy or the kidnapper, the bad person, almost ends up feeling larger than life, like a villain. But the whole point of this movie is to strip it down and just say it's just some guy. It doesn't really matter.
They don't give them attention. That too. Yeah, exactly. Okay. They literally make that as a point, saying they couldn't believe, like, he's just like, they look at his license, this horrendous monster to them, thinking he's going to be this insane person. They just look at his license. That's the whole thing. He's just a regular guy. You don't know who to trust. You would never believe that. They were knocked out when they got abducted. It's just a guy.
Yeah.
Which is petrifying. I think that's the scariest part.
Well, it reminded me a lot. Well, actually, a lot of it reminded me of like the beginning, like the first half of Room with Brie Larson. It felt like a remake of Room. Yeah. Just with more people in there, no kid. But that guy was just some random dude who had all that stuff. Like that was like a situation where it was hard to get out of. That one, I'm like, oh man, she doesn't have the door code, and if he's dead, she can't get out. That one had me like on edge. The basement, I feel like just needed something else. But no, overall, I think it is a solid film. It's cool that a local film made waves like that.
Yeah.
And look, guys, you get 2 francs. You get 2 francs for the price of one.
Look all all businessy in the first one.
Yeah. And it's available on Prime Video and apparently everywhere else. You can just get it everywhere. Watch the movie, leave a review saying Frank rules. Real quick, was the bad guy's name Frank? Because that's going to sound bad.
No, I don't think so.
No. Frank Volpe rules. Just make all the comments about Frank Volpe's cameo.
Is it weird? Do you think the bad guy actually looked like Frank a tiny bit? Like there was some similarity where I was like,
dare you?
It's true.
How dare you? Leave Frank alone. Actually, no,
I was like, there was some type of similarity there. I was like, I kept thinking, I was like,
sure,
Frank could have played this part.
I'm pretty sure the bad guy is the director, I believe.
Really?
It's really not going to look good if the killer's name was Frank. Because then they're going to clip this out. Tony's like, leave poor Frank alone. Frank rules. There wasn't enough attention on the villain in this movie. He was not even a character.
But yeah, that is it for Last Known Location. Check it out. Next up, a lot of Resident Evil news, guys. Zach Kreger from The Whitest Kids You Know. And he's also the director of Barbarian and some other things, but I'll always know him as the comedy group Whitest Kids You Know. They announced this week that he is going to do a live-action Resident Evil. Feel like it's a little too soon. We had that Welcome to Raccoon City movie, which I thought was fine and fun, but it wasn't great. And then we had that really weird Netflix show. Feel like we could take a break on Resident Evil for a bit, but instead there's like, no, we're making a Resident Evil movie. Of course, I've reviewed a bunch of Resident Evil stuff. People keep asking me to review more Resident Evil movies, and like the struggle I have is, who am I going to replace Kieran with? Because he won't do it. Because he's enjoying life off the internet. So when I figure that out, I will start reviewing the Resident Evil movies again. But you guys are in luck, because this is technically a Resident Evil movie. It is a documentary about George A. Romero's unmade Resident Evil film. This is actually recommended by Pedro. Speaking of a zombie, he's supposed to be dead, and yet he keeps joining my live streams and DMs me all the time. He let me know that this was out. I knew this was coming out. And it has two things I love: George Romero and the Resident Evil franchise. I knew a lot about this. Where am I at here? Oh yeah, there you go. I didn't know about this. So I knew this movie was being made. I knew about the backstory. I turned it on and boom, there's James Rolfe. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Is he credited? Did you go back? Because I went
forgot
back and I didn't see. So everyone that speaks has a title underneath, and I was wondering what his title was going to be.
I'm pretty sure they did.
I didn't see it.
Although his cameo,
his first time it pops up, there's nothing under there, at least from what I saw.
Although his cameo introduces the one thing I don't like about this movie. I really love how they visualize things from the script and how they recreated moments from the games, and they have all these like little vignettes and stuff that feel like the games, but they only apparently had one tube TV and they use it constantly. It's the same TV, and I kept noticing it. I'm like, get different TVs. It would have been cool if it was a different TV.
I didn't
Leave the tube TV alone.
Why did you think about that?
Because it was so clearly the same TV, the same tape and everything. And I was just like, it kept taking me out of it. I'm like, I would have got a different TV.
That is what took you out of this?
No.
It's not even like a narrative where you can question the continuity of like, how could that TV be in both locations at once?
So I feel like,
what the fuck?
So I feel like most people know about the George Romero Resident Evil thing. He did a commercial for Japan for Resident Evil 2. He was attached to this movie. I think he was the second person who wrote this movie or co-wrote it. The previous draft was Alan B. McElroy, who wrote Halloween 4. Don't worry, he went and wrote Tekken, the video game movie Tekken, which I reviewed last year. It didn't do that well, but it's a really good episode. Please go back and check it out. Yeah, so I went in knowing a bunch about this backstory, but I appreciated all the new information I learned. I loved hearing from the scenario planner from the original game. I love seeing more behind the scenes stuff of when he was directing the trailer. And I really loved the breakdowns of each script, the McElroy script and the George Romero script, and like what went wrong, why did it not ultimately get made. I don't know. I thought it was a really, really good documentary. Joey C., what did you think?
Yeah, I love a good documentary about a film. Admittedly, I'm not
real quick.
Yep.
Documentary.
God damn it. Everyone fucking yells at me for that.
New Yorkers. No, all the Rochester people, Kaylee, Carl, they all go documentary.
Why the fuck do you say it? What do you mean?
Documentary.
Documentary.
Where I'm from, we say documentary, like a document tree.
What sport are we talking about here? Good God.
Anyway, continue about this documentary.
I'm just trying to enjoy it.
Joey, I would love to hear your commentary on this documentary.
So this is a really good documentary because I'm British. It was pretty solid. It's a damn shame that George Romero's script didn't get finished. I did really enjoy the breakdowns of the script. That's information that I really like to know that I feel like is probably out there, but I never look into it. I'm not the biggest fan of the live action Resident Evil movies, perhaps for good reason. Some people would say not. But this was a fun documentary. This is really not much else to say about it. I'm not a huge fan. If you are a huge fan, definitely watch it. But I appreciated it for the behind the scenes stuff. Sorry, I got a cavity filled today, and my face is numb, so it's hard to. That's the only reason I said documentary.
Oh, okay.
It's the only reason. Just I do say it normally.
Gil,
how did you feel about this? Did you watch it?
I did. I watched it.
Okay.
I thought it was solid. I thought the first... okay, I'll say that the thing that is most interesting about this, that makes me want to watch it, is George Romero is going to make a Resident Evil movie. That's interesting. The first 40 minutes of the documentary are mainly a mini retrospective on George Romero himself. I felt like I knew a lot of that already. And then sort of a mini retrospective on the Resident Evil video games. Again, I kind of feel like I knew a lot of that already. There were little tidbits of new information that was interesting. And then when you get to the actual Resident Evil, I was wondering, how are you going to do more than just kind of pick through his script and sort of tell us what would have happened in his version of the movie? The stuff, and I think a lot of it was kind of just that, and I'll say that's when I found it least engaging, is just sort of reading from the script, showing that radio that they used whenever they were quoting the podcast guy. I feel like there wasn't really a narrative around the making of this movie that rose above George Romero was hired, script he wrote was too violent, so he got fired. It's not like that Tim Burton Superman movie where they actually got the production started. There were costumes to show. So I felt like it's that's not really the documentary's fault. Like, there just isn't more stuff there. But I thought it was at its best when it found new information from interviews, or when it almost just became an excuse for people to talk about what George Romero meant to them personally and kind of got into their stories, especially toward the end. That's probably when I felt most engaged. But overall, if you're a George Romero or Resident Evil fan, I think you'll generally enjoy these 2 hours just being immersed in that world.
Crystal, are you either of those things?
I am. I was actually streaming the last time I streamed, which was forever ago, Resident Evil. The original one, I actually bought at least 5 or 6 of them. I kind of wanted to go through them and replay them. So, yes, I do like Resident Evil a lot. I actually like the first movie a lot, even though it's completely different.
It's underrated, as my episode says. That's and the new one was fine and fun. All the other ones are on their own.
Yes, I know fine and fun. Everyone knows fine and fun.
I can't defend all the other ones. Sorry. You're all on your own.
No. I didn't say all of them. I think it's because I was like younger when I watched the first one. I thought I some of the scenes I'll never forget. Like with with lasers, right? And the chops. Like there's certain scene there I can never forget. And of course, obviously, I love George Romero. So I was excited to go into watching this, and I agree 100% with Gil says. Talking about George Romero, I'm always gonna, even though I know almost all of that, I'm gonna love listening to it again because I do love listening to it. I love listening to about the video game itself because I've played it. I really didn't know much about it. I didn't know about that very first game that it was based off of. Found it massively interesting. Got a little bored. I still have 20 minutes left to watch of this, but I couldn't pay as much attention to it listening to them just reading the script. I kind of was too ADHD with that.
I would have liked if they did more stuff like this, what we're looking at here, where they recreated moments from the script.
Yes, that was great. Looking at the images of them basically redoing the actual video game the way it looked like it was played just in real life, I thought that was awesome. I love seeing those characters come to life as a movie. which is really, really cool. So different than what they actually did. And it was so interesting hearing, because they didn't want to take the same characters and plot that everyone already knew and also make it so violent.
Yeah.
I wish they did make that George Romero version. I think that would be really awesome, but it's really cool listening about the differences and what they could have done.
Yeah, and they could have toned down the violence a little bit and released it unrated afterwards.
Well, they also said that they would tone it down for America and a few other countries, and then what was it? 2 other countries, I think Japan and another one. They said they would keep the extra violence in.
It's funny because, like, they mentioned that the 90s were a little bit neutered gore-wise and the early 2000s, but then after Resident Evil, we got, like, the Saw movies and Dawn of the Dead, and, like, violence and ultra gore came back. So, yeah, it's a shame they didn't go with him. I loved hearing his version of the script. They all make a point to say it was just like a first draft. It would have gotten rewritten and reworked. There were some weird changes, like Redfield not being a part of SARS. I thought that was interesting. I love seeing all the concept art and the, what do we have here? The Tyrant.
Yeah.
They have a big model of the Tyrant that K&B was going to do. It looks so much better than the Tyrant we got in Resident Evil Extinction. That was fucking awful. But yeah, it's one of those, like, what if it got made? It's like Jodorowsky's Dune. And like Gil, you said the Superman documentary, Tim Burton's Superman. Yeah, I had a good time with it. I mostly liked the visual representation, how they presented the story and everything. It gave a very Resident Evil vibe.
It's interesting that you said, like, there's not that much story to really tell, but it's about 2 hours long.
Yeah,
I think that's why they pad it. They pad it with the Romero backstory, the Resident Evil
but
game
you also,
backstory.
I think
they talk about
an hour and a half.
I got an important question here. What is the pronunciation of this type of film again?
Documentary.
Documentary.
Yes.
Documentary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a problem here?
All right.
No, it's good.
Why did someone type something? Why did you interrupt us with that?
No, I just want to make sure I get this straight, so when I promote this film more, I understand how to say documentary.
Documentary.
Okay, good stuff. Good. See, you learn something new every day.
I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and one of the hosts was about to say,
how do you have time to listen to a podcast and then also watch 7 movies? I'm just asking.
You got to download that Chrome extension that lets you watch at a faster speed, and then you just have to know, when can I fast forward through this scene?
That's what I used for the next movie.
You have to use it responsibly, though. But I would never do that. Obviously,
I will see through almost every freaking movie I watch. I do that with podcasts and books. I can't focus.
Yeah. But they were talking about how their least favorite part of a podcast is when someone gets hung up. I'm like, no, I'm not sure how to pronounce this word. But so I was like, don't do that on the stream tonight. Also, I did like in the documentary when they were they kept emphasizing, like, don't worry, the dialogue would have been better if you had a chance to rewrite. And then they keep coming back to that one guy where he's like, but I mean, there were 3 drafts and there were very marginal changes from one draft to another. I'm like, I don't know that this really holds up, that the dialogue was going to get that much better.
I mean, I've seen some of his later zombie movies. They weren't great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of feel bad that I was left out of this documentary. As someone who took George Romero's Night of the Living Dead and made it better by adding myself to it. Well, I'm sorry. Did you say something, Crystal? I was talking about the Hack the Living Dead, one of the greatest films of this or any generation. I think instead of Zach Krager, they should give this new one to me. That's what I think, and I'll use Romero's script. I won't change a thing. It'll be I'll respect the lore of his script, and I think I'll be able to knock it out of the park. What do you guys?
They were
think?
struggling to get enough budget to do what he had in that script, but you'll be just fine.
Well, that was like the 20-something years ago. I'll just AI everything. It'll be fine. I'll take the
people
AI
love that.
Yeah, people love it. I'll be like, AI is zombie here. It'll change. It'll just change backgrounds and everything.
You just ask ChatGPT to write the script for you. You'll be fine.
I'll ask ChatGPT.
Say, hey, ChatGPT, take
script.
That's all you have to say. Say, write Resident Evil as if it was a George Romero movie. Done.
It just gives me that script.
And then you say, now create the whole movie.
And then you do what this movie did, where at the beginning it just plasters a paragraph about fair use.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're protected.
Yeah.
You know,
Because they use so much game footage and the footage from like the movies. It makes sense. But yeah, if you like film documentaries, especially ones about unmade films, fucking Joey, I see you mouthing.
What? I'm just practicing.
Check this out. And I know a lot of this was old news to us, but there might be George Romero fans that don't play Resident Evil and don't know about the games and just want to see a story about an unmade movie. And there might be Resident Evil fans that don't know much about George Romero other than he was attached to this and the games are kind of based off his stuff. So yeah, I feel like this is good for a newbie that fits in either one of those categories. But yeah, definitely check it out. You're able to rent it on Prime, and I'm sure other sites as well. Was that 3? Are we gonna do our midstream super chats right now?
We're doing midstream this time? Yay.
Yeah, we'll do midstream.
One of the times we didn't do midstream.
I forgot. Get your super chats in, everybody, please. First up, we got AJ Canada Pictures. Tony, should Crystal or Trisha have a series of choose your own adventure books where the reader guides them through branching paths? I don't know why either one would have that.
Wait, so
I don't know why you picked
Crystal
those
or
two.
Trisha be the character that you're guiding, or is the idea that they wrote the book?
I don't
Wait, are
know.
you asking like should Trisha or should I or Trisha have one? Or are you saying if one of us had to? I'm reading it both ways. But like, I mean, I'm down. Does anyone want to create a an adventure book for me?
What would it
I
be?
recently went
I
down
know.
a rabbit hole where back in like the 70s, there were these game books where it was like a choose your own adventure book, but a level up from that. Because you'd have like character stats, you'd get into RPG style encounters, roll dice,
shit.
and actually get inventory. I remember as a kid, it sounded so cool to me, but they were all out of print. So I would go library to library trying to find this thing. It was called Lone Wolf. That was the biggest one. They even had a 2-player, almost first-person shooter style one, where 2 players would each have their own book, and you'd walk around in this dungeon. And there was like a secret way you'd give each other numbers to detect where you are in relation to each other. You'd fight each other. It's a great rabbit hole to go down if you
That actually sounds
look
cool.
that up on YouTube.
I can read, man. That's cool. That's cool. That's really
Books.
cool.
I've heard that word.
Yeah,
I know how to say that.
Hell yeah.
All right.
man.
The answer is no.
You don't want us to have anything fun, Tony.
The Flail for $2. Shrek Christmas special. Yes, I think maybe around the holidays, maybe like end of October, we'll do what is the best Shrek special. There's
a few of them.
There's Shrek the Halls. There's Scared Shrekless. The 4D ride no longer exists, but they released the video portion as its own short where you fight, where you have to you get chased by Lord Farquaad's ghost. We'll do best Shrek spinoff or special.
I was going to ask about, well, what about Puss in Boots 1 and 2?
We're
does
gonna
that
save
get
that.
covered?
We're gonna
That's its
save
own
that.
thing.
Yeah. Okay. Dude Abides, who's a member for 10 months, praying for The Substance to win several Oscars. Look, if it's not in a category with Amelia Perez, I want it to win too. But unfortunately, I'm a Perezident. We're going all in on Amelia Perez. I should do this every year. Just pick like one. I'm like, yeah, I'm all in on this one.
I'm
The
so happy
artist.
you don't gamble, Tony.
I'm all in on The Artist. I would have cleaned up that year. Matt Schuler for $10.
Wow.
Are you doing the Dark Knight trilogy this year? Keep up the great work, Tony. Yes. Last year I wanted to do it with the Batmobile, and it didn't work out. This year I will be doing it. Me, Crystal, and Frank will be doing it with or without the Batmobile because it will be the 20th anniversary of Batman Begins.
Wow.
Gotta do it with the Batmobile.
Wow.
I'll try my best, but it was hard last year. It's going to be even harder this year.
I'll try talking to him too if I have to. I can sweet talk him.
Yeah? Yeah, all right. Hang on a second. Let's get
I
this
like
going.
him. He wanted me. He actually tried hiring me a few times to be
Batgirl,
Catwoman.
right? Or
No, Catwoman for
okay.
yeah, because he'll go conventions, show to
TV
show.
TV show cars on
Yeah,
Instagram.
TV show. Yeah, he'll have me. He wanted me to be
Girl over
Catwoman. I could never do it though.
My favorite is when he got changed in the thing, and you're like, "Are there cameras in there?" I'm like, "We're getting this car for free, so if there were cameras in there,
You're
make
like,
sure you
"Put on a
bounce
show."
it."
It was just. I mean, it looks like there would be cameras in there. I'm just fucking.
There probably were
full
many
ass.
cameras in there.
Yeah, and I'm fully getting like I'm trying to got fully undressed to get into this really tight leather outfit.
All right, Crystal, come on. This is a family show. Let's get back into this. Oh, God damn it. Oh, God damn it. He's got, okay. Pico Jet Black for $5. You know, last week's stream, I don't think he was in it at all. It was really nice. Panel.
Oh, I love
Are you triggered by Tony's Italianness? Also, did you know that he was in The Sound of Music when he was a kid? Hashtag problematic. Hashtag pray for Tony. Gil, you don't know about that story, right? Don't ask me to explain it. Don't look into it. Are you guys triggered?
Joey, I'll text you after.
I'm triggered by your New Jersey Italianness. Not the Italianness. It's your fake Jersey Italianness. Like you might as well be on the
I'm
Jersey
not even
Shore.
from Jersey. What Jersey? I live close to Jersey, but that's it.
Yeah, but you're like a fake Jersey Italian.
That's fucked up.
Wait,
That's fucked
how?
up.
What did
That's
I do?
fucked, man. That's an insult. Coming from a New York Italian. That's fucked. No one goes that
JC, are
low.
you triggered by my Italianness?
No, I'm inspired. I'm really inspired by it.
How about
Good
you, Gil?
Lord.
Are you triggered by my
Damn, that's
Italianness?
better. I had to look up the opposite of the word triggered to tell you how you make me feel. I was going to say composed. That's what it looks like when I looked it up. But inspired, that's even better. I like that.
I think we're all just kind of triggered by Tony. You don't have to add the Italianness. I think it's just Tony.
Wow.
I
Okay,
plead the
and
fifth.
look, I was 6 years old. I didn't know who the bad guys in Sound of Music were. The school gave me a costume to put on, and I had to stand on stage.
So
and
fucked up.
there's a picture of it. I included it in an episode.
Different world back then.
But yeah. Look, I was just following orders from my school, guys.
Come on.
6-year-old Tony.
Yeah, I am feeling a little triggered, actually. Crystal, I'm coming away to your way of thinking.
Yeah, thank you.
Pico Jet Black for $5 more. Tony, how do you feel about the rumors that you don't flush your toilet or brush your teeth? Also, looks like the surgery didn't work. Too bad. Hashtag love.
If this guy wasn't paying you, I would think he doesn't like you very much.
He had to have listened to Johanna and I because we both were like, Tony, like the bathroom's always nasty. He doesn't
Stop starting those rumors.
Come on.
It's not a rumor. It's facts.
I've been in that bathroom. It's
No,
not
it's
bad.
nasty.
It's not
What?
bad. If you tinkle before you sprinkle or whatever.
Oh, be a sweetie,
sign
wipe the
says.
seedy. Yeah, that's a sign above my toilet.
If somebody asks Tony, what do you do for a living? Just send them this clip.
Let's examine the quality of Tony's
what he actually
bathroom.
Who was
to
it?
women.
Oh, was it? It was Adam. Was just like, why are you even reading these? They're so negative. I'm like, I used to drive a broken truck for a shady municipal supply company. This is way better than that. I'll deal with it. Pico Jet Black for $2.
Now we're talking.
Gil and Joey C. What's it like being beautiful?
Yeah, baby.
Wow,
that's
me
what
and
I'm
Crystal
talking
both
about.
got the shaft on that one.
I'm okay with it.
Put your arm down, Joey.
No, it's
Joey
away.
and Gil are beautiful. Why
Oh,
can't you
thank
accept
you.
that, Tony? Don't be jealous.
So what's it like, guys?
It's pretty cool, man. I got a free Starbucks today because the 90-year-old lady thought I was really sweet. So that's pretty cool.
What about you, Gil? Did you get any free
mean-
Starbucks?
I feel like if my looks had anything at all to do with landing me on these live streams, then it's the best thing in the world.
Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, Rob K for $5. Gesundheit to anyone ahead of time in case they sneeze. Thank you, Rob K.
That's sweet. That's very sweet.
Oh, there she is. Mint Salad, thanks for hacking all these movies up. And then she gifted 5 Hack the Movies memberships.
Go
Thank
Mint,
you so much.
go Mint, go Mint.
J-Max for $2, Canadian dollars. Amelia Perez is Tony's favorite movie of the year. Yep. All in on Perez, baby.
Yeah.
Aussie Dragoon for $5. Is Amelia Perez the best Dark Knight movie? I don't think it's in the category. By the way, me and Adam were such assholes. We would get to like a category that didn't have either of our picks, and we would pick a movie, and I'd be like, it's the Amelia Perez of this category. Curious Violet for $4.99. Crystal, end the debate once and for all. Who is more manly, Gil, Joey, or Tony? Put your arm down. That's cheating.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I think Gil's pretty manly, but I mean, it's obviously Joey C.
Oh, okay.
I don't even feel bad about
I'm
that
sorry.
answer.
Yeah, it's
I have to lose
clearly.
to someone.
I don't understand why we even put. I think that was a
wow.
pity. Put your name in there, Tony.
It was
the
a waste
big
of
man
$5.
now.
It's honestly between like Gil and Joey C. So.
Wow, I can't believe it. He drove through a tunnel, that Joey C. If he was manlier, he would
Bring
know how
the
to
man
drive.
back.
I'm surprised those biceps fit through a tunnel.
Right?
Wow, Joey Gil also drove
Really?
through
I hate you the
Wow, they all drove through a tunnel. Next up, J-Max for $5 Canadian. Love the Night at the Roxbury review with Kaylee. Both of you were great.
Oh. Sorry about that. I was just checking.
Alrighty. We'll get back to the rest of them later. Let's get back with the show. Next up, Screambox exclusive from our good friends.
I'm not last. Holy shit. Sorry,
What?
Gil. I'm not last. First time
You know what?
ever.
I might like it better out here. It gets awkward between you two. Damn
I
it.
hate you so much. I was happy for one moment.
It's like a little sassy sandwich for us, Gil. Isn't that nice?
Okay. Next up, the Screambox. Stop laughing. It's going to mess up when I clip this. Next up, the Screambox exclusive, Lizzie Lazarus from our good friends at Screambox. This is a movie that starts off with a corpse singing in the water about a bunch of reasons not to kill yourself.
Yep.
And then we watch these two people. We find out the corpse is this lady's sister and this guy's boyfriend or girlfriend. And they wander through the woods carrying her corpse to bring her to a place where they will resurrect her. It's like a Lazarus pit, or the biblical Lazarus who came back to life. And throughout the film, they walk and they talk, and then they walk and they talk and they walk and they talk, and then sometimes they talk while they walk, and sometimes they talk while they're crawling, and sometimes they talk while they're sitting.
I was going to say, I think I saw them sit.
Yeah. And then there's a big reveal at the end.
That his neighbor had a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, he found that out at the very end. Joey C, who's apparently the manliest one here. What did you think of Lizzie Lazarus?
Before I get into it, I will say the ending, I'm not going to spoil it. Maybe everybody thought that they had the ending figured out within the first 5 minutes. I didn't fucking realize it until it happened, and I feel kind of dumb for that. But Gil, a long time ago, taught me a little trick called watch a movie at 1.5 speed when I made him watch Phantom of the Megaplex. And I thought, you know what? Boy, I'm going to do that for this movie. And I did, and I made a good choice on that one because that took no time at all to watch this movie. I did enjoy it. The opening scene when the girl's singing, I audibly said, "What the hell is Tony making me watch?" And then they're walking for a goddamn hour and 20 minutes, and I was very confused. And their flashbacks sprinkled throughout really tied it up nice. You're given enough information to understand. And then when they get into the whole sensitive themes of why she died, that was a little sad. But it was a bit like, I thought the ending was a bit out of left field. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if this was going to be like an alien movie or like a zombie movie or what have you. And then the scene where they're having sex in the motor vehicle. What the
Not
hell
these two, different people.
Oh yeah,
Not these
different
two
people.
characters.
That was a bit odd. I was watching it sped up, so it really looked ridiculous for me. It looked like two jackrabbits going at it. I did enjoy this movie. Now I did half watch it. I will admit to that. I was balls deep in a plate of hot dogs and sauerkraut, but more knuckles deep rather. So I was half paying attention, but it was a pretty good movie. So I would recommend it if that means anything to you folks.
Gil, what did you think of Lizzie Lazarus? Were you knuckle deep in hot dogs while watching?
I was nowhere near a hot dog while watching.
That's sad. I can give you one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's like a 4-hour drive between us. I'll be. I'm just gonna end that sentence there. So I thought this movie was good. I was worried at the start, honestly, because I know it's a smaller independent movie, and it starts on a singing corpse, and so I was a little worried it was going to be a little too artsy, just doing weird stuff for the sake of it. And but then I was intrigued when they're in the woods and they seem like two relatively normal people carrying a body in the woods. It's already pretty interesting. And then you find out they're on their way to attempt a resurrection. So, Joey, is everything okay?
No, I just heard a big crash and I got concerned.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
what was that?
That was over here.
What did you do?
Oh.
What dropped?
My light.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, anyhow, Gil,
around.
continue.
It's fine. Sorry, Gil.
No worries. I thought that it was interesting. Two, relatively normal people carrying a body in the woods. They're going to resurrect her. That's interesting. But like Joey pointed out, you soon realize that this movie is going to be, it's almost like a hangout movie of just two people talking. Essentially, they're walking around, but it's the equivalent of two people in a room talking. And that's also concerning. But I actually thought they generally pulled it off. In terms of the drama, I actually felt myself caring for these characters. And like horror aside, when you get into them dealing with the grief in different ways of losing this person who meant something different to each of them, that stuff worked for me. From a suspense level, there is a weird tension between them. She kind of throws these jabs at him and you don't quite understand why. And then from his side, there are things he doesn't want to talk about. And I wasn't sure why, and I was waiting for the reveal for him to finally open up to her. And on the horror suspense side, there are, I thought, enough hints throughout the movie that left you wondering maybe there is something to this, and they aren't just wasting their time in the woods. So I actually found it more engaging than I expected, and I was satisfied with the ending. Overall, I thought this was really good, better than I expected.
What did you go in expecting?
I thought it would, I guess I expected a lot of what I just described, but I didn't think it would be engaging. I thought it would be like, I think a lot of independent filmmakers, it's attractive to have a very small cast without a lot going on because it's a great way to not have a big budget. But I feel like to pull that off and make a conversation between two characters for an hour actually interesting is very challenging. So I assumed it was going to be that, but failing, and then just being boring, me not caring about either character, and there not being enough to just maintain the tension until you actually get to the end.
Yeah.
Crystal, what did you think of it?
I was going in, I don't know why I already went in with a different expectation when I knew nothing about it. I think I just saw Screambox and I was like, ooh, fun horror film. Because I know Terrifier's on it, and I was kind of hoping for something crazy and bloody, and that's what I was in the mood for. And this is as exact opposite as possible. As for a horror film, it's definitely under the horror bucket, but it's not crazy horror. It's not gory. There's not as much suspense. It has a horror element, I guess you can say. Mm-hmm. But to me, it wasn't like a horror movie that I would, watch over and over. Definitely not. I wish I was able to speed this up. I was easily distracted throughout this entire thing. The first, yes, with the singing, I was like, oh shit, well, is this like a musical horror film? Because wasn't in the mood for it, but that'd be interesting because I love Evil Dead the musical. But it wasn't. And I think that whole singing part, that whole first opening credits of the girl singing just completely threw me off. So I had no idea what to expect. And next thing you know, they're dragging a body. I was like, okay, it's going to get interesting. And then it's nothing but talking. I kept texting Tony. I was like, they're still walking, talking, still walking. Wait, nope, still walking. 40 minutes in, hour 15. Yep, still walking. I didn't mind the different points of view of their relationship with the girl that died. That was interesting. I liked that chemistry, but the other conversations felt not necessary. It felt as if she was saying almost controversial things just to say controversial, I guess, kind of things. It seems like her point of view kind of was all over the place, I guess you can say too.
She did try to act super smart. I love
she
when
did.
She got called out on that Stanford prison experiment and that other experiment, which people still love to quote, and they're like both bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the movie like called it out.
Yeah,
some people still believe that stuff.
Yeah, she was definitely called out, but she tried really hard to be that smart, artsy kind of person. I forget what she was. There's some things where I remember texting you and be like, she literally just said this. Like, what the fuck? Like, it just felt like topics were thrown in there to, keep the movie going.
But the funny thing is, she admits that she does it on purpose. She's like, I just try to sound smart, so I throw that stuff out there. But it's like, just because the movie gives her a reason for doing it, it doesn't make it. Yeah. It's not going to make you enjoy the fact that she's doing it all movie.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole movie. Okay, great. You say a couple things here and there, but the entire thing. Something's kind of going on. Like, I definitely picked up on it at the very beginning of what was going to happen. I mean, obviously, the freaking name of the movie there tells you what's going to happen pretty much. I wanted more of the ending to be a bigger part of it. That would have been fantastic. More of that kind of element, without spoiling it. I wouldn't watch it again.
I agree with what Gil said, the conversations, because that will either make or break this movie for you. For me, they were really good. I love the idea of like, you don't actually like really know someone, no matter how close you are to them. And this character died, and they both have like all these unanswered questions. Like, I wish I had time to ask them this. I wish I could have had that cleared up. I wish I said this to them. So the movie's really cool at asking those questions, seeing how people deal with it. And then if you have the option to bring someone back, would you go through all this? Because you don't want to go through the rest of your life wondering what they like, there are things about them that you're always wondering about that you'll never get answers on. So I really like that. I like how they kept dissecting and pulling that apart.
I don't feel like the sister really, the main thing she just didn't know was the tattoo. But besides that, she knew everything else. Some of it was just lying.
Well, she didn't know about the fight with the boyfriend. Like, what happened the night she
didn't know about what happened with the fight. Yes.
Well,
but she knew everything else. She knew she was suicidal, and she's done it multiple times. Multiple times. And she keeps just bringing her back.
Yeah, but she also had the thing where, like, her reason for bringing her back, she was just like, I resented her for so much of my life, because apparently Lizzie was, like, very sick growing up, so the parents spent more attention with her. So that's why she wants to bring her back, to make up for all the time she had resenting her. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. The ending, I think we all knew what the one twist was going to be. There is, like, a secondary twist. Where like someone was in on it the whole time, and I'm like, I don't think I needed that. I could have ended the movie a little bit. I don't want to spoil it. But like, the corpse is apparently aware of what was going to happen. That part I didn't really enjoy. I didn't enjoy that. One person getting screwed over, that part I liked. That one I predicted. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's good indie filmmaking. There was nothing jarringly bad. It was shot really well, which is surprising because it's all like in the woods at night with just these lanterns, basically.
It was so bright though. No fucking way. No fucking way. With just one lantern. That shit was way too bright to be in the fucking woods. Are you kidding me? That threw me off so much. No.
I thought it was good. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You probably had the brightness on your laptop turned up way too high.
Okay. You guys are talking about watching things at 1/2 speed. I went to watch the screener of this. If you're wondering why I picked this, it's because Screambox sends me an email every month of what's new and they'll say what exclusives they have, and I go, send me that one. So I literally knew nothing about this movie. You keep saying what you went in expected. I'm like, I expected nothing. I saw the title and I clicked on it. I literally knew nothing about the movie. But so I clicked on the screener, which is like on Vimeo, and then like 10 minutes into the movie, all of Vimeo went down. And I was like, oh, awesome. So I watched this movie. There was a big break between the first 10 minutes of the rest. But yeah. It's something unique. It's very different. I'm never going to forget it. I'm always going to remember this movie. I might not rewatch it. But there's something to be said for something that'll always stick in your head. That song is very catchy. I've been humming it the last few days.
Have you? I don't even remember it.
Yeah, I keep humming it. It's just in my head. I can't get it out. I like to see this person's other work. I want to see if the other movies are written as well. Because I enjoyed the conversation that these characters were having throughout the film. And I love that it was in the 90s. That was fun. He's got his big tape Walkman. That was cool.
Yeah. They referenced Jeffrey Dahmer, which I look nothing like.
Which you look nothing like. You look nothing like. He was more handsome. Anyway. And then you make that face after I make that joke.
No, I'm just glad you said
that. Just his face, Tony.
But yeah, we've been covering a lot of Screambox movies, and I feel like they're getting better, guys. I feel like they're getting better.
What was the name of that one horror movie we reviewed where it ended up being a ton of walking, just following the serial killer?
That was on Shudder. That was A Violent Nature.
A Violent Nature.
Oh yeah. We need more movies with a surprising amount of walking. Those always end up being interesting.
What was what was the one movie the dude who directed Elephant made where it's mostly just people walking? Hold on.
Yeah, we'll do that one next.
What is it? Was it called? All right. Gus Van Sant. Gus Van Sant, who did Crystal's favorite movie, the 1998 remake of Psycho. She loves that movie. Listen to our commentary track where she's just like, fuck you.
Entire time, yeah.
What is the movie he made where it's just people walking? Jerry with a G. Two young men, they're hiking in the desert and they get lost and they're just starving to death. It's Casey Affleck and Matt Damon. And they're just like walking for like 2 hours and slowly dying. We're going to do that, guys. We're going to do Jerry from 2002. Are we excited?
I mean, without the promise of like maybe a dead person is going to come back to life or something horrible is going to happen at the end, it'll be hard for me to hitch onto that ride.
I think we should all go in the woods with like a GoPro and lav mics, and we should review walking movies while we're walking.
I'm down.
I'm good with that.
I think that would be a really fun thing to do. Lizzie Lazarus on Screambox now. Check it out. Next up. Goosebumps The Vanishing. All right, so when I put this on the list, I was like, let me put like some more horror stuff in here. What's a nostalgic horror thing? I'm like, Goosebumps. This is the second season, but it turns out that's okay because the seasons are now little anthologies, whereas the original Goosebumps was every episode was its own story. This was its own thing. This is one I went into not knowing what to expect, but it's got David Schwimmer. He's a botanist, and he'll remind you over and over again. He's a botanist. When he was younger, I forgot to show that when I was talking about season 1. When he was younger, his brother and their friends went missing, exploring some underground bunker. Years later, his twins, his children are hanging out with him. They're staying with him for the summer. He's got a basement he tells them not to go under because he's doing some experiments. Meanwhile, they go to explore the same place his brother did, and they unleash something. And next thing you know, we got plant monsters and people turning into fungus and all this weird sci-fi stuff. And all these kids have to figure out where it's all coming from. David Schwimmer's got to make sure he's not falling apart. Yeah. And it's a crazy, wacky teen drama time. One thing I liked is that every episode was named after a Goosebumps book. And they kind of merge. I didn't know this was a thing. I'm actually going to go back and watch the first season now. I like how they take a bunch of separate books and they kind of merge them together. So yeah, you have Stay Out of the Basement, The Haunted Car, Monster Blood, The Girl Who Cried Monster, but they call it Boy Who Cried Monster, Ghost Next Door, and Welcome to Camp Nightmare, which I remember the TV show version of that, and I always hated that one.
Why?
It's one of my favorites.
Why'd you hate it?
No, talk about
What's
a twist ending. The twist ending sucks.
You suck.
It's like this whole fun thing, and at the end, they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're all space aliens, and we're going to Earth."
We're going to Earth, yeah.
I was like, "Wait, what? Like, what the fuck? What did I?
Let it be.
Where'd you pull that out of your ass, R.L. Stein? That twist sucked. What the hell are you talking about?" I ended up liking this one way more than I thought I would. Joey C., how did you feel about Goosebumps? Did you watch the first season?
Yes, I did. A big OG Goosebumps fan. To sum it up, I would rather watch the Jack Black movies than watch this again. I did not like these.
You didn't like
Really?
No, I can't believe I'm saying that because I love Goosebumps. And I saw the first episode with Stay Out of the Basement. That's like one of my favorite episodes. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. It's nothing like the first season where with cringy acting and overly explained plot, it's going to be wonderful. It was the same thing. The first fucking like 10 minutes, they're over explaining everything and with like their cringy Gen Z acting. And I was like, I hate every fucking part of this. I was sad that they replaced Justin Long, but David Schwimmer, he's a cool dude.
It's a different character.
That's true.
Joey was very confused watching this.
Yeah, it's very.
The characters all look different.
Where's
Jack Black?
To be fair, though, I didn't like the first season either.
Yeah. I think Casey said she didn't like the first. Here's my thing. I tried to rewatch old Goosebumps a few years back, and I went, well, Crystal died.
Okay.
I tried to watch old Goosebumps a few years back, and I watched a few episodes, and I went, that worked a little bit better as a kid. Actually, Gil, it reminds me. Jesus Christ. It reminds me of I Saw the TV Glow. That part where he said he watched the part at the end where he's like, and then I watched the episode and it wasn't like how I remembered it and I felt embarrassed. That's how I felt watching old Goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Very accurate. Yeah, because I feel like if I watched Goosebumps, the OG, for the first time now, I'd be like, this is silly.
Yeah.
But I loved it so much as a kid and I rewatch it a lot because it's on YouTube and Tubi and stuff like that. And I hated the Jack Black movies because I was like, these are so different and just like so like modern. Not to sound like a fucking hipster or anything, but which is the same reason why I hated the first season. I didn't hate it, but I did not like it. And this season is the same sort of vibe with me. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
Did you watch all of it or did you give up?
Yeah, I watched all of them.
Gil, what did you think of Goosebumps The Vanishing?
Yeah, I watched one episode from season 1 and I didn't watch beyond that. And I feel like I had the same reaction watching one episode from this season. And I don't think it's a bad show. I just think it's a few elements, none of which are done very poorly and none of which are done great. It's just very vanilla, kind of down the middle. So there's a large element is the teen soap opera piece of it, which basically does nothing for me. And that's like 60% of the show. Though it tries to appeal, I think, to kids today and then also people who grew up with Goosebumps. So anytime I see stuff I recognize from the books I read as a kid, I love that. Even just having David Schwimmer makes me think of the 90s, Friends and everything. That's like nostalgia, comfort food. I enjoy that stuff. The actual horror elements, I was impressed at the opening to episode 1. It was surprisingly gruesome, like one kid's face basically melting off. Yeah. But in general, I felt like it was more thrills than chills. It was more like sci-fi action in tone than creepy horror. And I think I would have liked more of that. So if you add all that together, it's sort of just fine. If you like teen soap opera or are okay with it, you'd probably say, hey, this is pretty good overall. If not, then for me, it just tips slightly on the scale toward I'm not going to keep watching it.
Crystal, what did you think?
I love Goosebumps.
You went and grabbed. I knew that's what you were doing. And
my books are on the bottom shelf, and I didn't feel like moving something out. Like I have Goosebumps books as well because I'm literally was obsessed with horror as a child.
Okay, so did you watch the first season of the show?
I didn't. I don't even think I knew it existed.
I forgot until I was like, oh right, this is like I forgot they did that other one. So how did you feel about The Vanishing?
I really like it. I think it is definitely targeted to a younger generation. I agree a lot with what Gil said with taking some nostalgic people that grew up with Goosebumps and bringing it to a younger generation. Of course, it's not going to be the same. Of course, we're going to have that nostalgic love for the original. Always want it to be the original. It will never be the original, no matter what we do. I think the story's great. I love the actors in it. I think their chemistry is great. It just really does feel like a group of friends going through these crazy things. I'm loving how they are looping. The stories are looping into each other. I think that's fascinating. I was wondering how I saw all the titles first because I was curious what books they were going to use. And seeing how one's tying into another, into the thing is going into the car. And now, and it definitely takes a while to, it took like a first 2 to 3 episodes to really grasp, like, okay, everything is going to be affected by this one entity. Really interesting. Ross Geller will always be Ross Geller to me. Like, no matter what, that's Ross to me. But I think this character is fantastic for him because for me, I don't know how many other ways I can see him as not as Ross, but he plays his part really well. He does the comedic parts really well too. I'm a big fan. He's definitely solid in this. I think it's a great series. I still have about 2 more episodes, I think, left to watch. I'm invested.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It feels
it's not the
like,
best thing ever, but it's. I think it's great.
It's funny, we talked about Resident Evil. This feels like little kid Resident Evil.
Yeah.
With your underground labs, like your zombie that's like a weird virus sort of plant thing. There's a lot of Resident Evil in this, just for young teens. Yeah, again, I didn't plan on watching this until I was putting the list together, and I'm glad I did. I could see why you wouldn't like it, Gil. If I wasn't doing the show, I didn't expect myself to actually finish the whole show. I got 2 episodes in. I'm like, I actually like this. I think I'm going to go back and finish this at some point. And then today it just like lucked out. Yesterday I caught myself watching more. And then today I finished it. I'm like, this is good. I had a good time with this. Joey C, you said it doesn't feel like the original ones to you, and that's why you didn't like it.
When you say it like that, it sounds a bit silly. So I'm afraid to admit that, but yeah, I just couldn't get into it.
I get it. So the originals didn't have lesbians, and this one did, and you don't like this one. Okay, I just wanted to point out, Joey C is not inclusive. He's actually mad that this Goosebumps is woke, and we're gonna take him off the screen before he can defend himself. We're gonna put him at the bottom of the list. What?
Oh! I thought I was gone. I'm sorry.
That was brilliant.
Goosebumps it was pretty good, but I didn't really enjoy it.
Gil,
I thought it would be more of a documentary, but it turned out to be more of a
no, Gil. It's a documentary.
Fuck you. Okay. I apologize for Joey C's anti-wokeness. But yeah, I'd say check it out. It's a real cool time. I like the monster designs are all cool. The Plant Man was cool. You get some weird alien things at the end that sort of are like demigorgons, but different enough to be interesting. Yeah, it's solid. Oh, my one problem with it though, when I put it on, again, I didn't realize that these were like all like a season long anthology, but I put it on, was watching it. I'm like, all right, where's the theme song? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And then he gets to the dog and you go, ruff, 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 ruff. And I was like so excited. And then it didn't happen. And I almost turned it off. I went, what the fuck? Where's the dun, 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 dun. Where's the ruff, 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 ruff? Where is it? Where's the
floating
song?
G?
And I started screaming and yelling. I just wanted the theme song. I wanted.
Do you know the theme song was one of my it's like the theme song remake. Wait, I have it.
Oh, on your Twitch?
No, well, that's on my Twitch too.
Turn it up. We're gonna get copyright claimed.
No, but it's also my ringtone.
Real quick, Joey C. Did season 1 have the theme song?
Nope.
Did the Jack Black movie have the theme song?
You know, I wish I could remember anything about that movie other than how fucking horrible it was.
They made 2 of those, right?
They did make 2 of them. And honestly, I like the sequel better than the original. I think they might be worth revisiting. I mean, what was that, 2015? That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Tony, can we review best Goosebumps movie, please?
It's just those 2, right?
What? No, I mean like out of the originals.
They're not movies, they're TV shows.
I don't
I'm not
care.
watching. How many goddamn seasons of Goosebumps were there?
4, I think.
But we can
Hold on.
find favorite episode.
Hold on, I keep getting the new show. 1995 to 1998.
Carlsville.
We could do like our favorite. No, I'm not watching. I'm not watching a bunch of Goosebumps to do that.
You can watch them at 1.5%, though.
No, I still need to
1.5%. That'll
Guys,
take
I still
12
need to
hours
watch-
per episode.
I need to
missed
finish
both.
watching the Blade TV
is
series
this?
so I can do more Blade Boys. I can't do any Goosebumps
Tony.
stuff.
We all put lav mics on. We go for a walk in the woods and we talk about Goosebumps. What could be better than that?
Listen, it's only 45 minutes. I think each one is about 45, right? Like, we're fine. It's a movie.
I'll think about it.
And they're all
You
on Tubi,
never let
I
me
think.
do the
He's not
movies I
gonna think
wanted
about it.
to.
You can
Oh
tell.
my god. Are we good with Goosebumps? Are we done with Goosebumps The Vanishing?
See
Fine.
you later, Goosebumps.
What the fuck was... God damn it. He's back. Hello.
I'm back.
And
It's the
finally...
G Fuel. It's the G Fuel.
And finally, the big one of the night. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot we went back on my slideshow. And finally, the big one of the night. Wolfman 2025. Not to be confused with The Wolfman or The Wolfman. I realized the 2010 one doesn't have a space in it, and it's called The Wolfman. Yes, this is another horror remake from Universal and Blumhouse, another collaboration between them. You know, they just did Nosferatu, which is basically Dracula, and they did like 5 other Dracula movies in the last few years. And I guess they were like, oh, right, we own The Wolfman. We should probably do another The Wolfman. Recently on Patreon, me and Kaylee did the previous Wolfman remake from 2010. It's not great. It's the original Wolfman, all right, just with bigger effects, and it's louder. And it's got a wrestling match at the end with the Wolfman and his dad. And spoiler, that's not the last time you'll see that in a Wolfman movie. This comes to you from Lee Winnell, who wrote and starred in Saw. Joey C., I believe we reviewed Saw a few months ago.
Boy, did we.
And then he did The Invisible Man, which is a movie I've still only seen 40 minutes of at a restaurant while it was on mute.
It was pretty good.
And I had it all spoiled for me. One day I'll go and watch the whole movie, but I just been hesitant because the whole thing was spoiled for me. But people really like The Invisible Man. Did anyone here see The Invisible Man from 2020?
Yep, very good.
Okay,
Very
it was very
good.
good. So yeah, I was excited to see this based off how everyone really liked Invisible Man. I knew it was not going to be the original Wolfman, which is fine because the Wolfman did that. It kind of just told that story again, just slightly different. So I was excited to see a more fresh take because the Wolfman, the original like Universal thing, it's one of the monsters that's not like based off a book, so you do have a little bit more wiggle room to do what you want. Honestly, the best Wolfman remake is Wolf with Jack Nicholson from the 90s. That's a solid one. So yeah, this one is about a guy. His dad is declared dead in the woods. He grew up with his dad in the woods, where we're apparently all going to walk and talk about Goosebumps. He was declared dead. When they were younger, they hunted something in the woods. We get told through an opening text that there is a virus located in this one area of Oregon that'll give you the features of a wolf. So they're already building their own lore. There's no full moon, no silver, no wolfsbane, none of that. It's just a virus that alters your appearance and gives you wolf-like abilities. So he has to go clean this house out now that his dad's clear dead, and he's bringing his family along with him, his daughter and his wife. His wife, who I think is about to be one of the many people who ruins Fantastic Four, because she's the Silver Surfer. Looks just like him, right, guys? But I think of this, I'm actually looking at a Silver Surfer action figure right here, and I'm looking at this lady, and I'm like, nailed it. Perfect. Yeah, their truck gets attacked by a Wolfman. He gets bit, and throughout the film, he slowly starts to turn into a Wolfman. It's very tragic, like the original. Before we get into the movie, like our thoughts on it, Blumhouse Universal really fumbled this one marketing-wise. Months, like in October, they just revealed what one of the Wolfmen looked like in their Halloween Horror Nights maze. They had him walking around. Spoiler, he doesn't look as bad as this. Like, this is the theme park costume version. He does look a little bit better in the film. And then right before the movie came out, they just released the full transformation sequence, like on YouTube, which was bizarre to me. And it's not doing well critically or financially, which is sad because it's only $20 million to make. The last Wolfman remake was $100 million. So they played it safe this time, and it looks like it didn't pay off. Gil, what did you think of Wolfman?
I thought when it leaned into the horror elements, the suspense of there's a Wolfman who can see me in the dark, but I can't see him. And he's absurdly close, but I still can't see him. Yeah. Those moments were creepy. But I also felt the horror elements got pretty repetitive. You'd see the same trick multiple times. One example being when you swoop around to go from the human's perspective to the Wolfman's perspective, and you see what he sees and how he can't understand what you're saying. It's all garbled.
I like that.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought they did it a few times, but there was nothing new each time you saw it. It was kind of just like, here's the same thing again. So I thought some of that got repetitive. And then on the other side of it, the thematic elements and the drama, I felt like it was trying way too hard. It was just too on the nose. Because the Wolfman thing, it's meant to be a metaphor for intergenerational trauma. But it's all spoken aloud several times, like him talking to his daughter. You know, I'm sorry, I'm a little strict on you sometimes. My father was very hard on me, and I don't want to be like that, but sometimes I am like that. It's very spelled out. But when it leans into the horror, when it leans into the body horror especially, like the moments, anytime he's just staring blankly, I found that so creepy and uncomfortable. So it was a very 50-50, like mixed movie for me.
Yeah. Crystal, did you see this one? Great job. Joey C., how did you feel about Wolfman?
What a movie. I really enjoyed it. I am upset to say the first 20 minutes I was very upset because I spilled my slushie. I lifted it up by the lid.
Oh my God, you just... Sorry, finish telling your story. You just gave me like a flashback to a problem I had with the theater, but keep going.
I lifted it up by the lid, and this fucking thing's bigger than me, and I spilled it all over my pants, so the lady next to me thought I peed grape juice. So I was a little upset about that. But when I got over that, I fell in love with how they shot it with like a warped lens and used like the blue tint to represent like the wolf vision. That was so fucking cool. And Gil, you mentioned like the loss and the grief and the trauma. I'm sure that was intentional. But while I'm watching it, I'm going, oh, I know a secret. This movie's about trauma. This movie's about trauma. And then I realized every person knew that. So I'm an idiot. But the physical manifestation of trauma with the Wolfman, Gil will make a whole video about it. The transformation, though, was really cool. What really tripped me out, Tony, you always mention how you hate like eyeballs being poked. When this guy like broke his fucking jaw open, I cringed. That was the scariest part of the movie.
Yeah. Not the fingernails? God. I feel like
no, not the fingernails. The jaw got me, dude. It scared me.
But didn't you find it was kind of funny where it's doing the big transformation, where it's like zooming into each body part as it's changing, and then he's off camera and he stands up and it's like the big reveal of this is the final Wolfman state. And I'm like, it doesn't look that different than he looked 5 minutes ago, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like, you already showed it. Like, I don't know what you were trying to accomplish.
I think he's still, like, it's implied that he will keep changing because the dad looks completely different. Oh, yes, spoiler. the other Wolfman's his dad. Much like the previous remake, it's very obvious who the other Wolfman is. It like couldn't have been more obvious.
It was weird at the beginning of the movie, right before it starts with a flashback, right before it cuts to the present. It just zooms in on the dad's tattoo, and I'm like, they really want us to notice that tattoo.
Yeah, that was a problem. I guess it's more of a problem with this one because literally the last remake did that, and I just watched it again. But speaking of theater experiences, do I have like a prop here? Hold on.
Pause for prop.
Pause for prop. I'll just use like paper or something.
Man, Joey's got his little documentary notebook. I need more props for the next stream.
Documentary.
A manual for my mic. Okay, that's fine.
Jesus, Tony.
I want to say 40 minutes. This fucking guy behind me struggled with a bag of candy.
It was
Joey Gill, how many quiet scenes are there in this movie, especially in the first two acts?
Whole fucking thing.
Okay. All right, so let's see here. Like this part here. Okay, so they're walking and it's quiet. Just imagine this.
Was it like him being hesitant about opening the candy? Like he didn't want to open it all the way?
He struggled to open the bag.
This is also the same
But was he just
point.
like scared of being loud, I guess?
If he was, he would have fucking stopped or went outside and tried to open the bag. Instead, it'd be like, run to the house. They shut the door and everything gets quiet. And then he's like, oh, I'm hungry.
It can't be worse than the bag of pepperoni I brought into the theater. I mean, it had just been
someone almost drove into me head on right before I went into the theater because they weren't paying attention to the arrows in the parking lot.
Oh,
So they were driving the wrong way, and I didn't see them because I was like, obviously, the arrows are so big, it will be hard to not see them. I could just turn and not expect to see a car driving into me. Sure enough, there was a car driving into me. And then I had
Tony,
to stand...
how many times do I have to apologize? The arrows were small.
that's why I wear big glasses so I can see
the awkward thing was that I had to stand next to the guy who almost hit me in line. And like I looked really pissed and he looked like nothing because he didn't even realize he did anything wrong. So yeah, I went in kind of like a bad mood for this movie. I did see it with a friend of mine, and we in 2010 saw the previous Wolfman remake together. I'm like, hey, there's another Wolfman remake. Let's do it again. I thought it was okay. And I feel like that is the most praise this movie is getting. People will be like, it's okay. The stuff we were talking about, the transformation stuff was great. Gil, I could have used more of it because that actually sold the tragedy. Like, he loves his family. He loves his daughter. And there is this thing that is making him a threat to them. And I love that every time you go to his point of view, they look less human. So he relates to them less. He can't understand them at all. I love that. The scene with the spider was incredible.
Ooh, baby.
Where like the whole time, like, oh, is the other werewolf trying to break in? What's going on here? And it's like, oh no, it's a spider crawling. His ears are gotten so good he could just focus in on it. But yeah, nothing else really worked for me. Again, the thing with his dad was very predictable. I did not predict that they were going to have a fucking wrestling match again, like the previous movie. Although, to be fair, unlike Anthony Hopkins, he doesn't like rip his shirt off like Hulk Hogan. That's the thing that happened in the last Wolfman movie. Anthony Hopkins turns into a Wolfman and rips off his shirt like Hulk Hogan. And they literally body slam each other, and this wooden floor turns into a crash pad. It looks like a wrestling ring. Anyway, I didn't really get like what the dad Wolfman was doing. Like, I know he attacked them because he's just a Wolfman. He's trying to eat them, but it looks like he's trying to take his son out of there. Like, does he recognize that that's his? Because he's now a Wolfman and it has his scent. I wasn't really sure what was going on there.
I mean, there was that line about like how he was telling his daughter, like, I was supposed to protect you or whatever. So maybe the dad werewolf was like trying to get the son away from the family so he wouldn't hurt them or what.
Or maybe he's just like, or maybe he's like, I recognize that scent, that's mine, and now that it is a Wolfman, he's like, oh, I probably have a pack or something. I feel like that could have been cleared up. Also, like, why didn't he just like break into the house? I feel like it would have been really easy for that Wolfman to break into the house.
That bothered me. I mean, a couple things bothered me. One, that the Wolfman couldn't break into the house. Like, I did not believe that just the dad holding that front door would have stopped him. But second, if you're afraid the Wolfman's going to break in, the fact that the dad leaves his wife and daughter like 10 feet from the front door in the middle of the living room, surrounded by windows and thin walls, while he goes down to the basement, like, you have a basement, barricade down there.
Yeah. Does the Wolfman... No, they can come out during the day because the very first scene is during the day where there's a third Wolfman that we never learn what his backstory is. I assume it turned the dad.
I assume that's the hiker they mention in the opening text.
Oh,
that could be it.
Okay. Yeah, and apparently this virus is just located to this one forest in Oregon.
I felt like the opening text gave...
Yeah, apparently the Native Americans had an issue with it. And I guess it's just died down a little bit. But yeah, I thought he probably should have turned into a Wolfman a little bit earlier, maybe. And hunted the family a little bit more. I get everything it was trying to do. And the whole transformation sequence I thought was great. The whole, like, him turning was great. Losing his humanity, because that's kind of like, you know, the Wolfman. He's a nice guy. In every version, he's like a nice guy. Benicio del Toro played him like kind of a creep. But he's supposed to be a nice guy, and this thing is making him a monster against his will. That all worked, but yeah, overall... it's missing something. I don't know what it was missing. But like it needed something more. Maybe like another kill. Maybe like another person out there.
I think if they found a way, like you were saying before, you could have used more of the transformation. If they found a way to draw that out more, I think because that was some of the best stuff in the movie. But I feel like it's gradual physically, but the mental side of it, it kind of felt like he can understand and communicate with his family until he can't. There wasn't a lot of transition there. If they somehow drew that out more, and it's like we're in the house in close quarters with someone who's maybe turning into a monster, but he's still our dad somewhat, like that was the good stuff in the movie. If they could have found a way to draw that out more.
It had a very zombie movie vibe because they're guys turning, they're stuck in a house. It reminds me of that famous zombie movie, Hack the Living Dead. I wish I could add myself to this film on the outside. Here's my question. Would you have liked this more if it was its own werewolf thing and not a remake of Wolfman?
I don't think so, because I don't think I went in... like, I haven't seen every Wolfman movie, so I don't think I had high expectations for it anyhow.
Do you think this Wolfman will meet Frankenstein?
I hope so. I'll play
I think, like,
Abbott and you play Costello.
Yeah, I don't think the Dark... Well, it is funny that the Dark Universe brand is still alive. They're just using it for a theme park now.
For a theme park, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's any crossover between this and Invisible Man happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that might be the one problem. You hear Wolfman, you kind of have certain expectations. If it's just a werewolf movie and this was its own thing, I think people would have been more open to it. Would they have seen it? I don't know, because there was a movie that came out last month called Werewolves. I don't think it did very well, but also I think it might have been super low budget. Did anyone see that Werewolves from last month?
Nope.
With Frank Grillo? I hear mixed things. I either hear like the practical effects are awesome and it's action packed, and then I hear, yeah, that's fine, but the rest of the movie sucks. So I have to go back and check that out. Yeah, I think it's okay. Don't go. I mean, obviously you guys aren't going to the theaters. It's not doing super well. Wait for it to hit
doing what
streaming.
you're doing.
Wait for it to hit streaming. Try not to think of it as a remake of The Wolfman. You'll enjoy it more. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. Anyone else have anything to say about this?
I don't see it in theaters. Got it. Thanks.
I think that Robert Eggers' Werewolf coming out in 2026 Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
I bet that'll be better.
Whatever happened to Werewolf Wednesdays?
Oh, I just brought it back with Kaylee, and we make a joke in the beginning that last year I brought it back, and then I only did one, so I brought it back again.
It's a once a year thing.
Once a year, apparently.
Werewolf.
We're gonna make it a thing. Let's do the howling, Crystal.
I'd love to.
Yeah. But yeah, that is it for us with the review section, I see one of our patrons in here, and he's got to put his mask on, or else he'll break
Who would
character.
that be?
Could it be? And also, there was another one in here. God Lothos, if you're still around, come back in. Lucha Steve, what's up?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Lucha.
Hey, Crystal.
What movies on the list did you watch?
Wolfman.
Oh, what did you think of Wolfman?
So can I actually tell my story about Wolfman? I'll try to make it quick.
Can you tell the story while walking and talking in
In
the woods?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll settle for this. What's your story?
Okay. So occasionally, and it seems to be like a once a year thing with me, just because I'm too lazy to look up what movies they might be. I go see preview screenings of movies, and
cool.
I had gotten this one for. It says it's an upcoming horror movie made by like I forget what it said exactly, but I was like, oh my god, is this Wolfman? I'm so excited to see Wolfman because I love Lee Wanell. I really like his movies. Upgrade's great.
Upgrade is good.
And so I'm like, oh man, it's gonna suck if I go to this preview screening and it's not the Wolfman because I have to like wait and shit for it. Mm-hmm. And first off, they really messed with my ego because they put me in the old person line. And I'm like, because they're asking everybody, oh, how old are you? How many people are in your party? I'm like, oh, 31. So it's like, obviously, I'm one of the young kids, right? Yeah. No, I got put with the 50-year-olds. But it's like, Jesus Christ, am I old?
Yes.
And so it just got to the point where I was waiting so long, and the movie was going to start in like 10 minutes. I was like, hey, can you just tell me what movie it is? Because if it's not what I think, I'm just going to leave. And they're like, oh, no, we can't tell you. So I'm basically just like, okay, this like has to be the Wolfman, or it has to be like something like cool that I didn't think about. Or else like I'm going to be like really upset. And to my happiness, it was in fact the Wolfman.
Oh, good.
And I really enjoyed it. The audience loved it. I like had a great time. And for the last 2 months, I've been, man, I can't wait for this movie to come out. Everyone's gonna really enjoy it as much as I did. And it's probably gonna be like this big hit. It's in January. January has a bad reputation, but sometimes January movies can like really clean up. So it's like, I can't wait to see what happens. And then the premiere came, and everyone was like, man, this movie sucks. I'm like, oh. I really liked it. Sorry, one more cool thing. At the screening, I saw Lee Wanell.
Oh.
And I don't think he was supposed to be out there. And I was very much like, oh, maybe it's not him. And I'm like, getting him, because obviously the last time I saw Lee Wanell was in like Insidious 3. So it's like, oh, maybe he's like older, and maybe I didn't recognize him. But someone else went up to him, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's him. I'm gonna go right after. But the moment that guy left and took a picture of him, they immediately ushered him away. So it's like, but that must have been cool for him because, like I said, the audience was like really into it. So I'm sure he was like, man, it's great. So I don't know if like I saw a cut, like a different cut than people are seeing that like kind of like.
You said you're a big fan of him, and you went in kind of expecting what it would be.
Yeah,
you might be. Like this might have been targeted for you, and maybe that's why you were super into it.
I didn't rewatch it, so maybe I rewatch it. I'm like, oh, it's okay, but
actually, yeah, if you rewatch it, let me know what they changed.
Okay,
yeah, let me know if there's any big changes.
I'm gonna bring up one thing, and I'm gonna see if you guys can maybe explain. There was a part where they're in the barn, and from the way it was shot, it looked like he just teleported in the barn. Did they show how he got in the barn?
Oh yeah, he was digging.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that was okay. I don't think that was finished then.
Okay, yeah, he dug, and even though he's grunting and making noises, as soon as he got done digging, he became super quiet.
Yeah. Okay, it was definitely done in a wow, he's already in the barn kind of way, but you see him digging for a couple seconds earlier.
It's kind of like that in there too. I don't think they had the shot of him digging because it literally looked like, oh, he could just teleport. That's a werewolf power.
No, they show him strongest. It reminded me of the Lost World where the raptors are digging underneath the door. Uh, yeah.
So yeah, I might need to rewatch it. I really enjoyed it. Like a lot of the things you guys are praising, like how he's kind of like he's trying to like be this good dad, but it's almost as if like this werewolf disease stops his character development, and now he's turning into like this monster. I thought it was a really good way to like kind of do the tragedy thing. And like I enjoyed like I really like the design. I really like how it's like a Native American like type of like sickness. It kind of reminds me of Wendigos a little bit.
Yeah. I was getting Wendigo vibe. I actually don't mind maybe not like him because he's not like fully changed yet, but the dad I thought looked awesome.
Yeah, I think the makeup's really good. And then I've been getting to really like Christopher Abbott, who plays the lead. He's like in Poor Things. Funnily enough, I actually liked him in Craven.
Oh my God, was he the foreigner in Craven?
He's the foreigner.
That's how bad Craven is. I forgot there was a whole character.
He's like one of the better parts of Craven, which isn't saying much because at least I don't know. Maybe it's like it's just.
According to Monica, there's only one good part of Craven, and that's what's his face's abs.
Oh yeah. So like I like him as an actor.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I can't believe within 2 months he played one of the most forgettable, bland performances I've ever seen. And then like this really compelling character that I really liked, and I didn't recognize. It's because he was wearing sunglasses in Craven most of the movie. It's a Superman effect. He took those sunglasses off, and I went, "Who's this new actor?"
So like I need to check out more of his movies. Apparently, he's in a movie called Possessor that's Brandon Cronenberg, and he's like,
oh, I wanted to check that out.
He's apparently really good in it. And then there's a movie he's in of Margaret Qualley.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that's my Californian accent. I can't pronounce a normal last name. There's a movie where like she plays like a dominatrix or something, and he's like his sub, and it's like that sounds interesting.
Whoa, really?
Check that out.
Yeah, what movie is that?
The name of that movie, please.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll look it up.
Also, I'll be in California next week. I don't know where to do a meetup. I'll let you know.
All right, cool. I'll probably be the only guy that shows up, and it'll just be me like complaining about like, hey, does Vito have to be here?
You know, we always have at least one person who shows up. People are like, Tony, what'll happen if no one shows up? I'm like, that'll be fucking hilarious. I win.
But no one would know. You just make up someone.
No, I would just
be like Tony. Be like, yeah. Yeah, with a random fucking person walking by.
I would make comedy out of it. I would definitely make comedy out of it.
I'm sure you would.
The movie's called Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Okay. Sanctuary. Documentary. Okay.
I do have one more thing, and it's a callback to what you were saying about them not playing the theme and stuff in adaptations.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of the Kamen Rider franchise, and they did Shin Kamen Rider. It was like the next thing of like, you know, Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, man, I just want them to play the theme song. This is a very iconic theme song that even today in Kamen Rider shows they will reference the song.
Yeah. And
literally the opening is just the Kamen Rider riding his motorcycle as the song plays. So there's a shot there's a scene at the end of the movie where he's just driving the motorcycle through like the country, just like the opening. And I'm like, okay, the theme song's gonna play, and then it plays some other song, and then the movie ends, and then the credits they play the theme song, and it's like, no, you gotta switch that shit. You can't do that.
That's so stupid.
Because he used the Godzilla theme all throughout Shin Godzilla. So
and Ultraman they just don't, which I guess like if. I either use it like a good spot or don't use it at all. I feel like.
Yeah.
Just do the thing where you have a character's phone ring and the ringtone is the theme song.
They used to do that in like old, like superhero, like Iron Man has that. There's a couple movies that have that.
I actually like that. It's like make it cute or like put it in where it's trying to reference the opening or something like that. I actually lied. Shin Ultraman, they do play the opening, but not of Ultraman. Yeah. They do it from the first Ultraman show. That's like
Ultra Q.
Yeah, I was gonna call you out on that, but I was gonna let it slide.
Thank you, Gil.
This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, they play the Ultra Q theme, which made me really happy. And then they never. I don't think they play the Ultraman theme.
I still need to see the other Shin movies. I'm not like I watched a little bit of Ultraman. I want to get more into it. I have the DVD set. Joe gave me it. But yes, thank you, Lucha Steve, for stopping by.
All right, bye guys.
Goodbye. Hopefully I see you next week. I'll let you know when and where.
All right. Sounds cool.
Bye. Oh wait, what were you saying? Sound like
I
you were
said
about to say-
sounds cool.
Okay, goodbye.
He has his
okay.
glasses underneath his mask. That was
we have one voicemail, and then we'll get to these super chats. Let's see. Here we go. Can everyone?
You didn't listen to these before, did you?
It came in as we were recording.
This is dangerous.
Oh, God.
no.
I'm looking at it. I think it has something to do with the Crystal. Did you see the video I put out yesterday about the worst Batman adaptation?
No, I don't watch anything that I'm not in.
Come on.
Crystal, I did a pretty good.
Did you?
I reviewed a bad adaptation of Batman, Crystal. It's the Little Golden Books done with Funko Pop art of Tim Burton's Batman. And it's just the end of Tim Burton's Batman, the Joker's parade, and I get like real heated and talk about all the inconsistencies between the book that's meant for like
Jesus
5-year-olds.
Christ.
I got like real into it. Took it
You're a bad human.
And I looked at the transcript, but the Google transcripts aren't the best. But I see Funko Pop. I'm like, all right, I think I know what this is. So let's hear. Can you hear it?
Well, hello. I'm calling because Crystal Quinn had posted on X about calling in, so I'm calling in. The only thing I have to add of value, since I hate talking on the phone, is that I watched the worst adaptation of a Batman property ever.
Yeah.
And what I want to say is, for some freaking reason, the only time I can do a consistent Jean-Claude Van Damme impression is when I'm talking about Funko Pops. So every holiday season, somebody will get a Funko Pop, and I will say, if you do not like the Funko Pop, then you will return the Funko Pop.
What the fuck was that? That was a horrible voicemail. What? You didn't even sound like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You sounded like Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots. What the hell was that?
Great. Now no one's going to call in because you're an asshole. It was a great voicemail. I loved it.
I mean, even if it was Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots, that's impressive. Can you do that impression?
No, he can't.
Yeah.
He's just a hater, is what he is. Can you not be? Why are you so mean to
Look,
the fans?
that was just a really bad voicemail.
You're an
I'm sure the super chats will cheer me up. Pico Jet Black, God damn it, for $2. Tony, is it true that you don't believe in condoms?
I don't believe they exist.
This is why I love
What
it.
is that?
This is why
I believe in me and Crystal, we did a condom commercial, remember?
we did. Not like together. We talked about them.
Condoms?
And then they never hired me again for a brand deal. I wonder why.
That's shitty.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
It was actually such a legit thing because
Wait, are they still around?
are they? I kind of want to rewatch it because it was so fucking funny because it was such a pure reaction of mine.
Oh,
'Cause I
the
didn't know what
commercial
fuck
we
were
did was
doing.
fun because you didn't
was
know
fan-
you were.
I
You didn't know
had
you
no
were gonna
idea.
be in a commercial.
I had no idea
Blindsided.
what we're. Yeah, it was great.
Such a good commercial, it apparently put them out of business.
I was about to say, oh my god, their website's just not showing up. Hold on.
We were so good. It got sold out of everything. They couldn't keep up with demand.
Okay, lucky bloke. Their website
It was lucky
takes you-
bloke.
Their website takes you to a blank screen. All right, well, I guess we figured out why I
Can you
never
just-
got picked up for enough. You got.
Can you put
Are
that
you telling
though
me
on
my
somewhere?
audience? You're telling me my audience isn't buying condoms 100 at a time? Are they not getting laid enough?
Condoms? I haven't felt the touch of a woman in a while, so I'm not sure.
All right.
No, it pops up on my phone.
Ah, well, then they have a bad desktop website because mine just kept taking me to a white screen.
Hey, let me look at them on Instagram.
I need the link to this commercial ASAP.
PC's extra videos for
Yes.
$4.99 says Tony. Mr. Jet Black. Oh, wow, they're going against him. Must be on crack. There's no way a stud like you brushes your teeth from the toilet. Kitchen sink, maybe. You rock.
Yeah, he really showed him, man. That was
Okay. I guess he means toilet as in bathroom. I don't think he means literal toilet.
I would hope not. I pee in
Okay.
that.
Hear You Pilot 379 for $4.99 says Pico Jet Black, Tony's gastric bypass surgery was a personal secret for him. Don't blatantly expose it to the world.
Do you have a humiliation kink, Tony? I'm just curious.
No, I don't. I actually lost like 6 or 7 pounds after Dick Masterson said I got fat again on his show. I went, oh no, I knew I put on holiday weight. I didn't know it was that noticeable. Ah!
It's
Oh,
good
Tony,
to tie
you
your
poor
self-esteem and self-image into online comments.
Oh my God, you need a
Look,
hug.
you know what it's like to have hundreds of people calling you fat. I had to
Oh
deal with
my
it with
God.
Reddit for years.
Faceless channel, Tony. It's great.
Pico Jet Black for $2. Please review Pearl Harbor Rush Hour. See, now that's a normal one. He'll throw in like a normal one.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. It'll be fun to talk
You're
about
asking
Pearl
for
Harbor.
more now. He's like,
Yeah.
normal, you say. Take this.
PC's extra videos for $1.99. Your Batman Kids book review was hilarious. Bravo. Thank you for enjoying that. I was very serious.
Good super chat. Would have been better with a Jean-Claude Van Damme impression.
Type it how you think Jean-Claude Van Damme would say it. So that's what you got to do here.
And if it sounds like Puss in Boots, you're going to get an earful from Tony.
Can I really
Yeah, don't
get
do
my-
that.
Phoenix for €5. Tony, did the Batman fame bring any stalkers into your life? And can Crystal with a K replace you as the host for an episode, please? Love the show, big fan. Well, I don't know who Crystal with a K is, but if we find her, I'll consider it. And no, I didn't get any stalkers from my Batman fan.
He's wishing. He's
fame.
hoping.
It's coming.
He's still waiting.
Oh, God damn it. Pico Jet Black for $5. Panel, make sure that Tony doesn't expose himself on camera like last time, allegedly. We don't need another Pee Wee Herman situation. # please shower. Pico, come on, man. I didn't expose anything. What are you talking about?
The hell did I miss last time?
Aussie Dragoon for $2. By the way, Tony, who is Kane? The Undertaker's brother? Abel's brother?
That's what I thought as soon as I see
Oh,
Kane.
wait, no. I know what he's saying. It's a joke about Blade Boys. Kane is a lead from Marcus. It's a joke from Blade Boys. I can tell you guys aren't watching Blade Boys on Patreon because that is a recurring gag on the show. Anyway, PC's extra videos for $1.99. Exposing yourself might get you more subs. Try it.
He
All right,
does
guys.
have an adult. Do you still have it?
Oh, I do. Joey, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And we just outed Joey C. He fell right for that trap.
No, I was.
Sorry. Not in Trump's
Aw.
America, Joey. You're out. Anyway, who's sexier, Pinhead or Jin from
Right.
Wishmaster? Oh, it's got to be the Jin, Andrew Divoff. Oh, hello. We brought
I
you
love
back.
Pinhead.
Who's sexier, Pinhead or the Jin from Wishmaster?
Pinhead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pinhead.
That's,
That's
a
like
Don if
Pinhead's
I've ever
whole
seen
thing,
one.
right? It's like he is
Well, no,
living in a
Wishmaster
world
can-
of
Wishmaster
Constant
can disguise
gratification.
himself, though. He's not always the tentacle green guy. He
Well,
can do
Yeah,
like
but
a-
Pinhead's like Dom Daddy.
Yeah,
Thank
but does
you.
he
As
even
long
have,
as
like,
they
a
can
dick?
use and
Does
abuse
Pinhead
me.
even have a
Dom
dick?
Daddy.
I'm gonna
he's
find out.
covered in them, Tony.
He's got all that leather on.
Leather
Feels like it'd be a
daddy.
bitch to get off. Pico Jet Black for $2. Gil, is it true that you're happier than Tony?
Is that true?
My name actually means happiness.
Oh.
And
So,
Tony, your
yes.
name apparently means praiseworthy,
Whoa.
Were you looking
which
that up?
explains
Did
a
you-
lot. Well, I knew what my name meant, but I figured it was only fair to make an even playing field. So I looked up your
Is that-
name too.
Is that what
Crystal
the fuck
means
Tony
stripper.
means?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Pico Jet Black for $2. Joey C. Is it true that Gil is happier than Tony?
Joey means a young marsupial.
What the fuck did you just call
That
me?
I did know. And Joey means a baby marsupial.
What the hell's a Marsicrio or whatever?
Those were the were creatures in Howling 3.
Are they twinks?
Some of them, I don't see why they couldn't be.
Good. Then, yeah. I think it is true, although his background is a little blue, so maybe he's feeling a little blue tonight. Hopefully he'll change that for next time.
Okay. Pico Jet Black for $2. God damn it. Crystal, is it true that Tony's surgery didn't work? What's
No surgery has actually worked at all. He's gotten quite a few, and they all seem to backfire. We're still waiting for it to go correctly.
Pico Jet Black for $2, Tony. Why do you have a throbbing vein on your forehead? I don't think I do. What? Nah, I don't have a forehead vein.
I got one. I got a throbbing.
Tony does Botox.
You what?
I don't.
It's not healthy.
He sees extra video for $1.99 surgery. I thought you were all natural.
It is. I can.
Can
I've
someone
seen
else
it.
can someone else leave a goddamn super chat? Pico Jet Black for $5. Oh wait, hold on. Fuck you, Pico. Hold on. God Lothos, how are you?
Oh shit! You guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh man, I just got back here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
What's up, Josie?
in between reading super chats that are just shitting on me. You were like a blessing. I get a break from it. What movies on the list did you watch?
Oh, unfortunately, I haven't seen a movie since the new Crow came out.
It's a terrible movie.
Did you watch?
I'm
Did
so
you watch
sorry.
the Goosebumps show for the
No,
Vanishing?
the original one I did, but nothing with the new stuff, unfortunately.
All right, so you didn't watch anything on the list, but you're
No,
on the
fortunately not,
episode.
sir.
Anything you want to say, God Lothos? It's your time to
No.
shine.
The only thing is, I loved Hack the Movies. Been a long time fan ever since the Addams Family video came out, where we were introduced to the Great Crystal for shoplifting, of course,
Yes!
and she is still serving her punishment, unfortunately, by being here. And as always, Tony, you need to keep up the great work, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm doing great work.
You're doing some type of work.
I'm
No
doing
counts.
great. I'm doing great, no matter what Pico Jet Black says. Gold Lothos, anything else? You wanna do any plugs or anything?
No, I don't have any Twitch or anything like that, unfortunately. I'm just a longtime fan of you guys.
You're a
Yay!
sweetheart.
Who's your favorite co-host?
Oh, of course, that would be Kieran, but he's not on here anymore, unfortunately.
God damn it!
Aw,
All right,
actually,
who's your
that's a good
favorite
pick.
active co-host?
Oh, it had to be Crystal.
Hey! I like you.
You're lucky.
And
you're
then
lucky
Joey's number 3 because he's the manliest.
That's
Okay,
right.
you're
Look
lucky
at
you're
things were
paying-
going great there. He was praising you, Tony, and you're like, I gotta add some negativity into the mix. Let's turn the co-hosts against each other.
Tony, you did this to yourself, okay?
I've never said a mean thing about Tony. I will not handle the slander.
I will.
Don't go to his level, Joey.
Fun fact, I did talk to
It's a
Kieran
great level.
yesterday. I was telling Kieran about the Resident Evil documentary. I was updating him on it. He thought it looked cool. Because people think we're fighting. People assume that me and him are
No.
like fighting. And I'm like, no, I talked to him. It's fine. But yeah, thanks for being a $10 patron, God Lothos. Are you enjoying your
Yes.
patronage, or what's
Oh,
your
of
favorite
course,
thing
I
about
joined up on
Patreon?
Christmas Day itself as a gift to Tony.
Oh,
Yay!
That's
Nice.
sweet.
Merry Christmas, Tony.
thank you.
He gets money for Christmas.
It's sad.
All right, I hope you enjoy all the perks there. We're going to get back into these super chats that are just shitting on me constantly. But thank you for calling.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Lothos.
Thank you.
Okay, Pico Jet Black for $5. Imagine if they use AI to replace David Schwimmer scenes from Friends with lesbian grimace.
Lesbian?
Also, Tony, please keep it in your pants. Hashtag Goosebumps, hashtag sad. Didn't Ross knock up like a girl or two on that show?
I have a confession to make. I've never seen Friends in my life.
He knocked up his ex-wife, who was a
Yeah.
kid.
I see Friends every time I'm at the
Got
gym.
married.
They're playing Friends and Big Bang Theory constantly at the gym.
I can't
Just-
do Big Bang Theory.
I think at night they play Seinfeld, but I don't go at night, so I'm only seeing Friends and Big Bang Theory over and over again. God damn. Pico Jet Black for $2. Tony, is it true that you hate lesbian grimace? I have no strong
I think Grimace
feelings
has a
on
lot
grimace.
to tell you there.
What are you
Joey.
talking about, lesbian? Me and you were just in the bed. Anyways, Lang Wilder said, don't forget Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And Joey C is super manly. Boy, I'm glad you know that. That's
Well, I don't know. That's on the Pooniverse, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And I'm afraid if we review it, it'll make you leave the show again, just like Blood and Honey 2 did, Joey C.
I was scared.
You guys see when I clip that? I put Joey in the thumbnail. I'm like, this movie made my co-host leave.
Oh, God. I was scared. Sick.
Pico Jet Black for $2. Tony's a tree, you sweat olive oil. Shut up, racist. Pico Jet Black for $2. Joey C, do you support Grimace's lesbianness? What the fuck?
I don't remember the callback. I know that was a thing that
Was it?
happened earlier in the stream, yeah, but I forget why.
Don't remember. Pico Jet Black for $2. Tony, is it true that you hide and creep in forests?
Yes.
No?
Why did you say that with a question mark too? Like you weren't
No,
sure
totally.
if you do it. No, I don't.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Pico Jet Black for $2. Better werewolf movie, Wolfman or Bad Moon? Now you weren't specific.
Bad Moon.
There's no movie called Wolfman. It's The Wolfman, and Wolfman. You have to be more specific. But I like Bad Moon better than all the Wolfman movies. So
Same.
there you go.
Me too.
Bad Moon is awesome.
Never seen it,
Agreed.
but I'll agree with you.
It's really good.
It's rocks.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good.
Actually, this new movie being in like Oregon and like the forest reminded me of It actually feels more like a remake of Bad Moon than it does the Wolfman. Aussie Dragoon for $5. If no one shows up to the meetup, Tony takes a picture and titles it "Me and All My Friends." Yes, that's exactly what happens. Pico Jet Black for $2. Guys, do you fear that Tony might get canceled? Nah, we canceled cancel culture, baby. It's out. It's out. Well, maybe not so much on YouTube. YouTube is still a landmine.
If it happens, it'll be because you read one of your comments without screening it first.
Yes. Yes.
For sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. Pico Jet Black. Tony's head is too big for a Funko Pop. Hashtag sad boy Tony. You know what's sad? When my hair was like really long and curly, someone sent me a picture of a Funko Pop of Hurley from Lost, and it looked exactly like me.
Wow.
I was like, oh, I don't want to look like Hurley from Lost. Although now I think he
That's
lost a lot of weight,
disturbing.
but still, I looked at it, I'm like, that actually does look a lot like me. Holy shit. Rob K for $5. On Cameo, you can pay to have Tony insult you. On YouTube, Pico Jet Black pays to insult Tony. Weird.
That's great.
That's a classic super
That's
chat.
a great one.
I did a good
Save
cameo.
that one.
I did do a good cameo recently where it's like, make this for my boyfriend. And I'm like, they're a big fan of your show. That's all I got to say. And like, I did the cameo. I'm like, I don't have any more information about you, but thank you for liking the show. Like, I don't know what. Can you tell them to give you orders next time? What am I supposed to do here? Pico Jet Black for $2. Who's sexier, Van Damme or Lesbian Grimace? Van Damme.
Oh, poor
Oh,
Josie.
hang on a second.
Do you see the hat?
Huh?
Beautiful hat on Grimace there.
Aussie Dragoon for $2. We're one day closer to the epic Shaq Steel review. Oh, God. Shaquille O'Neal's Steel. What a movie. What a movie. No, we have a Black History Month movie coming up. It's Black Dynamite. Me and Manny Muskets reviewed it. Look forward to the Black Dynamite review. Lorenzo Areola for $5. You should invite Mitt and I on your show. Now that I understand that the logo, now it's an H being hacked like the movies you hacked. That's pretty cute, buddy. I'm glad it took you that long, Lorenzo Areola.
The buddy really hammers it home.
To notice that. Lorenzo Areola, you're Mexican, right? You want to do Amelia Perez with me? I need someone to review that with. Yes.
My brother was so disappointed when we met you. He asked
He was
you
very
about
disappointed. That's all you have to say. You have to stop right there.
I'll just leave it there.
When
Yeah.
my brother met you, he's very disappointed.
Like
That's
days
it.
later, he would be like, "I can't believe there's like nothing to the origins of the name Hack the Movies. There's like no cleverness to it. It doesn't mean anything." Because we asked you, and that was your answer. A week later, he'd be like, "I still can't believe that title." It's just,
I've
I'm so
explained it
disappointed.
before. I don't know why
What
people
did
are
you
expecting.
say?
I really liked watching reruns of Siskel and Ebert's at the movies. So in college, when I came up with this movie review idea, I was like, I'll be called, I don't know, Hack the Movies.
But it didn't go beyond that. Like hack means like I'm hacking it apart because I'm like criticizing it.
That's
Or, like,
what
I'm
I always
hacking-
say it means.
Yeah, you know,
That's what I
always say it
assumed,
means that
but-
you're hacking every
honestly, a
movie.
lot of people's theories are way more clever than what I actually put into it. I was like, I don't know, hack, like I hack the movie instead of at the movie. That sounds good. That's something that'll work.
I mean,
All
you're
right, let me go
lucky
shoot
you
the-
chose something that like actually it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Because apparently
remember-
you just like blindly just.
I remember Mike Matei was like, "Oh, I thought it was like how our name is Cinemassacre." I'm like, "No, that would have made sense. If I ripped you off, that actually would have made a lot more sense."
He's like, actually, here's a lawsuit. We're there's questions about his name.
Guys, I look, 21-year-old Tony didn't make the best decisions. All right, he picked this name.
I probably shouldn't start the rumor. Mike Matei suing Tony from Hack the Movies.
But yes, I wanted to shout out. Let me show his stuff real quick. The guy who made the logo. I should talk to this guy more often. He was an artist I found through the Dick Show. He does a lot of art over there. His name is Protsky. He's done a little bit of art for me, but yeah, he designed the Hack the Movies logo for me back in like 2019, I believe.
Oh my god, his stuff is great.
Yeah, his stuff's incredible. But yeah, he's the one that came up with like the tear through it, like it's being hacked. That was all his idea. He's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I don't know. Do this." I don't put a lot of thoughts into those things. I'm sorry.
You don't put a lot of thought in anything, Tony. Like, what the fuck?
I put a lot of thought into my review of the Little Golden Books adaptation of Batman.
First time. Jesus.
Anyway, I guess get whatever last minute super chats in that you want. Gil, what do you got coming up?
I just came out with an analysis of Nosferatu, the deeper meaning of that film. And coming up next, probably in the next 48 hours, we're going to do the same for Heretic. And then a lot more on the way after that, so stay tuned.
And
over at One Take Vids.
And your Amelia Perez, what is it? What's the...
Well, that one needs... I have to put a lot of brain power into that. So a few months from now, you're going to see it. It's going to be epic.
But it's not relevant anymore. Actually, it might win Best Picture. It might be relevant forever.
Oh, yeah, you're the one to talk about what's relevant. I just finished analyzing this children's book of the Batman. Oh, and if you don't like that, I also compared to a cut of Dracula that aired once on Fox 40 years ago.
Hey, that was a big find. That was a big moment for Hack the Movies. Joey C., what do you got going on?
Well, I just dropped a very intelligent piece of examining the quality of restaurants in the wonderful world of Monster Hunter World. And I've done a lot of restaurant reviews and video games. And what I have coming up is revisiting the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. Boy, that's a movie. Keep your eye out for that one.
I'm sorry. I love that plug had to follow Gil's plug.
Yeah,
I broke down this and Nosferatu and all this. And you're like, I reviewed a restaurant in a video game and I'm talking about Flintstones too.
Over at youtube.com/officialjoeyc.
Actually, that one is also directed by Brian Levant, I believe. I didn't realize we just did what is the worst made-for-TV Scooby-Doo movie. I didn't realize he directed like the first two that we talked about. They're not as bad as you would expect. Like if I had known he directed them, I wouldn't have done the episode. I'm like, oh, they're not going to be that cringe. They were actually fine. That Daphne and Velma movie though was rough.
Yeah, wait till you see Viva Rock Vegas.
Crystal,
Hi.
what beach do you go to? Where can people go to see you on the beach?
South Florida, baby.
What do you got
That's
going
what I got.
on?
I go to a couple beaches every Monday. Going to the beach, getting some sun. It's nice and warm. By the pool sometimes. Start doing Pilates.
Fun.
Actually, it's fucking hard.
Wait, do you know about
I'm on the machine, the reformer.
Do you know about piloxing? I just learned this.
What?
Okay, so Casey,
Piloxing?
we did Final Destination 3, and the one girl in it apparently was in a video, like a home video, like a exercise video called piloxing. It's Pilates and boxing. It's a real thing. Casey is certified in it, so you could do Pilates.
Casey's fucking certified in piloxing?
Joey C., should we do some piloxing next time you're here?
Yes, we should, baby.
Gil, I would
Holy
invite you, but you'll
shit, what
pretend to
the
get hit by
fuck
a
is
tricycle
this?
and not show up. I know you love doing that.
This doesn't look like Pilates. This looks like cardio boxing without a.
Don't blame me. I didn't make up the fucking thing. I just know it exists. All right, and you're making a podcast, maybe.
I feel like you're trying to draw out the time to get more super chats. Like Pilates, boxing.
Speaking of Gil, did you say super chats? Aussie Dragoon for $5 says when he reviews Steel, the channel will be called Shaq the Movies.
That's cute.
And then to one up him, Spyco Chet Black for $2. Please, Tony, don't smoke crack the movies.
Yeah, it's cute because of hack the movies and crack the movies.
Well, that was the January wrap up. That was an experience. We talked about a lot of things. We went through a lot of emotions there. Joey C doesn't know how to say a certain word, but then he's implying Then he's implying that I am missing a letter when I say documentary. I'm hitting the T. I'm hitting the T. Am I not?
What's at the bottom there?
I was just going to say that. What's
at
the bottom?
That's the Dominatrix movie that one fella mentioned. All right. I'm not into Dominatrix personally. If you all want to hit me up, but it's right there.
Sorry. Handsome Devil Wadios. I don't know how to say that. For $2. Look at the fat shame chat in Discord. Okay. When you sign up for Discord, you can join the Fat Shame Tony channel and just fat shame me.
I'm gonna.
God damn it! It's the Hurley Funko Pop from Lost.
Stop it!
Also, that's you, Lucha Steve. That's your YouTube name.
It is.
It looks. And when I got that in 2015, my hair was that long and curly.
Oh my god!
That is wild.
Hold on. Let me bring it. Yeah, there it is.
We're all doing
it. That is what 2015 Tony looked like.
Wow, that is oddly accurate.
I like his character on Lost, but Jesus fucking Christ, Tony.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's it from us. Please like, share, subscribe, join Patreon. Check me out in LA. I'll figure out a place.
Fat Shame Tony in Discord.
Fat Shame Tony in Discord. Check out Gil's really well thought out videos, and check out Joey C's restaurant video game reviews. Do all that stuff. All right. Oh, god damn it. One last one. $5. What did you guys think about the In Search of Darkness documentary? You think they should make one for 50s horror B movies as well? Yes, I really like them. They're very, very long, though. They should do that. I don't think anyone here has seen them.
That's correct.
No.
Okay, that's it from us. Goodbye.